Yeah! Rastafari, I Selassie, rules and reigns over all living things. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High God shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say, God bless a sound like Arrow Syndicate sound, with youth like DJ Yellow, Not Nice and my agent called Killer P. Big up all Stockwell and Brixton Massive, you don't know, so we kick off a sound boy face. I and the chin say, run things. Element of surprise. There will be weeping, there will be wailing, and a gnashing of teeth, till Arrow Syndicate sound they appear. And what you gonna do, and where you gonna run, so there will be killing, blood will be spilling, it just not go ease, till Arrow Syndicate sound they appear. And what you gonna do, and where you gonna run to, weeping and a wailing, I said a gnashing of teeth, weeping and a wailing, you test Killer P, you get defeat, weeping and a wailing, and a gnashing of teeth, weeping, what a wailing, you test Not Nice, you get defeat, here will be fighting, every son will be backbiting, it just now go ease, till Arrow Syndicate sound they appear. And what you gonna do, and where you gonna run to, there will be wars, rumors of wars, there won't be no peace, till Arrow Syndicate sound they appear. And what you gonna do, and where you gonna run to, Ja.
Rastafari. I don't know who they're gonna run to, you know, my people. Good evening. I don't know who they're gonna run to, but I just saw the thing go sometime, isn't me? Let me get the other screen up there so you can see us. I'm just putting my phone on silent. As you know, sometimes we run late. We don't mean to run late, but I just saw it go sometime, people. At least we're here. You know what I mean? Better now, never done, never. Tonight we've got a guest on my show tonight on the Godcast. Got my good friend RUBIN. Big up yourself, RUBIN.
Big up yourself.
Actually, let me turn on your microphone, innit? That'll be your start.
Yeah, am I there now, yeah?
Yeah, that would be a start, innit? You know what I mean?
We have sound.
Yeah, big up RUBIN, man. Manners and beer respect. Let me just get myself back onto this feisty book.
Manners and respect, mate.
Yeah, you know the choppings already. Big up everyone over on the over on the YouTube. Big up yourself, Divine Manners and Respect. Big up Angel. Big up Wendelina, good evening. Deborah, big up yourself. Anthony, Nicholas, my family, Manners and Respect. Robin, good evening. You done all the choppings already. So the topic of the conversation today for me was the fact that everything and anything that is godly is under attack. And I don't feel like it's just me that feels that way about the situation of what we're in at the moment, you know what I mean? Deborah, big up yourself, Manners, and be a love. Nicole, Refix, Art to Love, and good evening. We definitely don't feel good about what's going on, and we are very aware of what's taking place. So, because sometimes I feel like I don't explain stuff in the way that it needs to be broken down, yeah? So, you know, we got like a professional to break it down for you, right? You know, we got to get the professionals in, okay? Someone that can tailor it for your ears and you know the specifications and etc. So Ruben, I beg you give them a little sly backdrop of who you are, where you come from, why you're here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the reason that I know you, probably a good place to start.
Let's start there, for real.
Is because I started, because I'm passionate about music, actually. That's the very starting point.
That's
right?
the starting point.
It touches me and means a lot to me. And the whole culture means a lot to me. Like, I'm a raver, really. That's how I talk about myself, you know. And I started a project in 2020 in the middle of the lockdown called Phase Transition. And it was to do something interesting in the lockdown, basically, because they were trying to put us all indoors and shut us up and go down, go to sleep kind of vibe. Oh, there we go. Raise it up a bit
more, yeah.
Okay, there we go. Right. Yeah, because they were telling us to stop and, you know, don't do anything new. You know, we've got to just sort this thing out and we got to calm. You know, you just leave it with us. Yeah, we'll be back in like a couple of weeks or maybe a few months, and you know, everything will be back to normal at some point. But you just chill.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, like that's not how it works. Like, in order for culture to progress and for society to operate, and we need our freedom to go out and do all the things that we're supposed to be doing. That's where all the new stuff comes from, right?
That's right.
Like, comes from people and coordinated effort.
That is true.
And shared passion and all that kind of thing, right? So you've got to separate people out so they can't do that. Well, why? That's just like the stuff of life, right?
Thank you.
Literally. So I was like, okay, well, let's do the opposite of what they want us to do. Cool. And basically got some cameras and an archway in Bethnal Green, and over 4 weeks, like once a week, put sick artists in the room and film them, and started off with like a homage to Forward, the legendary club where dubstep and grime, like a lot of that was formulated.
That's right.
Started with Footsie and Scream, back to back with Riz Latif. Shout out to all of them.
Big up the whole family, the whole musical family.
Yeah,
Yes.
and Henny G opened up as well, so it's like an old school Forward connection there.
That's crazy.
It was sick, man, because actually Ollie hadn't played any 140 stuff out at all in a long time. Yeah, he'd done a few subsequently. Like, I had a bit of a reawakening on that side of his repertoire, you know, like but at the time it was, people were shouting out for it, and basically, like, I just got in touch with him via his management, and because nothing was really going on, it was like an opportunistic move to come in and like say, why don't we do something, you know, and I'll pattern it all up, and you can come in and it will be properly
professional
with a proper function one, and like it was a serious rig, man. Like on Space 289, they were doing really good things there. I think they might have been booted out. Like, a lot of people have been around London. A lot of those archways getting sold off, and different landlords coming in, and like they've got different priorities about what the city should be about, you know.
That's right.
A bit more aligned to the people who were trying to lock us in our houses, basically. That's the vibe.
That's right.
They're on the same side and we're on the other side.
Do you know something? There's one thing bothering me. I feel like we need to manoeuvre that microphone a bit away from your face.
Okay.
But where we can still hear you, but where we can still see you.
Is it? Okay. What about if I do it like that?
Go on then. But you can spin it as well, so it's facing you.
Okay.
All right.
You can tell I'm not a mic man, yeah?
Yeah. You can tell that I'm not a mic man, yeah? Big up Ruben.
Do you know what? I had part of it, I was doing it
Yeah.
One of the reasons I wanted to do it is I wanted to test myself because I had like a fear, like a phobia of being on camera and speaking on camera, which is weird because I could do, I could talk in front of a lot of people. Like I've done a lot of public speaking to like 500, 600 people at a time, and a lot of people find that very intimidating. But I seemed to be okay with that. But the problem I had was when you put a microphone and a camera on me, I was just like,
don't know where to start.
Yeah, literally, my mind would just race. I'd lose track of what I was saying. I was just like, it just praying me out basically. So like part of the whole process was I want to go on camera a bit more and like and actually like overcome that. So that's
crazy.
Part of that thing basically, yeah. So I did that first stream and that was good. And then next week, the week after, we did Scratcher, Mez and Grand Mixer, which was sick. And then we did a Metalheads thing.
Sick again.
Yeah, with Flight, Bailey, Tasha, SP. That was killer.
That was mad.
Yeah, and that was 3 years ago this week. And then 3 years ago next week, for the fourth one, we got Abashanti. And
wow.
Obviously, they'd shut off Carnival like for 2 years, isn't it? Like, and well, yeah. So basically, got to work with the best of the best. Really,
that is it.
Like that, you know, that was mad. It was mad, and most of them, even Abashanti, right, it was like because nothing had been running, so it was like he sent me an invoice, and it was like I think one of his first invoices for the whole year because there was nothing going on. You know what I mean?
That's right.
And that was one of the things that I wanted to do. Like, I was obviously selfishly I wanted to hear it and be involved in it, right? Because it was killer. But I wanted to make a nice gesture for the artist because like your entire livelihood just got taken away overnight, man. Like it was catastrophic.
For a lot of people, not
just artists, but
a lot of people suffered through that.
Yeah,
mentally, not even just financially and physically, but mentally, a lot of people found it hard to kind of keep their head above water.
Yeah,
mentally within that situation. You know what I mean? It
was very stressful.
Definitely.
It was very stressful. So then I did that first run and that was good, and then the next May we did a big stream with Hatcher down in Brighton and you were there.
That was a shutdown.
Very graciously came through and blessed the mic with Slimzy. That was a killer set, and basically like Saturday night we'd already been up for like 36 hours by that point, so we needed some energy and you lot came in and you just like booted it off.
Proper.
Brought us right back up again, man, because Hatcher had done 24 hours and me and him had been up since 6 a.m. the day before anyway, so it was just because we were just prepping the whole thing. And
that was crazy.
Yeah, that was how we met, isn't it? So yeah,
that was crazy.
Yeah, it was heavy. We literally didn't sleep for 3 days, like 6 a.m. on Friday morning, went to bed at like 4:30 on Monday morning. And I was clean as a whistle as well, but I stopped doing drugs and that a few years ago, so I just did that. I did drink a few Magnums actually. that was the medicine of choice for the weekend.
That's the way forward though, man. Drugs is a no-go for all young youths, them that are party goers.
Yeah.
Try to stay away from that. Enjoy the party. Drink as much water as you can. You know what I mean? Glass of, you know what I mean? Whatever. Or Prosecco or whatever, but try to ease off the drugs because when the party's done, some people still are partying. That's the problem.
And sometimes it stops being a party.
It's already stopped being a party and you're still partying.
Yeah.
Crazy. So yeah, that's the madness there. So moving forward, we're now at a stage where even though we are lovers of the music and we stem from that, but we have other interests and other concerns surrounding the people that we, you know what I mean, we work amongst, people that love the music, people that just like us. Any messages for them?
Messages for people now, I mean, God, the main thing is really the one that goes with the music, and it's a universal message, right, which is one of unity basically, and
it's always going to be,
and fellowship and like togetherness and peace and love and all that good stuff that should go with music. It doesn't always, but like at its base level, that's what it should be about, and that's the general message everywhere I think at the minute. Because while I was doing the music thing, which is how we met, I've also spent a lot of time working in and around the city basically. So working for the corporations,
Yeah.
and working for the people that run the corporations, like the boards and the chief executives and people who work for the chief executives
Yeah.
in lots of those different companies across the whole system, and particularly looking at how they like grow and transform themselves. And a lot of that has to do with people. So
Yeah.
how people like equip themselves with new ideas and new techniques in order to evolve and to grow and create new types of markets and new types of products and services.
Sick.
Yeah, it was pretty heavy. Like we did all basically all of the sectors. So like digitizing banking, like the way that you can now do everything through these phones,
Apps.
like totally transformed
Yeah.
like the way the world works basically in loads of different areas.
That's it.
And then I did quite a lot around the health system. I'm really interested in the health system for a whole bunch of reasons. Partly because like my family background, I've got a bunch of people in my family, a very close family, who are quite senior in the NHS. And I did some work with the board at Bupa. You probably not heard of Bupa. Bupa, the private health company,
Yes,
an insurance
Bupa.
company. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and Boots as well. So like the board at Boots. A lot of things around
That's working.
around the health system, basically looking what their plans are
Yeah.
for how they're going to evolve that as a delivery model, but then also like as a marketplace as well, because you've got these elements of privatisation coming in, and they're looking at the NHS, but they're thinking about what are the overlap points, how can we move into complementary services around what's happening in the health system and support the health system. But a lot of it is very commercially driven, right? Particularly when you get into pharmaceuticals and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I won't dwell on that too much, though, I don't think, because YouTube don't like it for a start. Let's just say that.
YouTube don't like too much anyway, but you know what?
We can talk about YouTube.
When it comes to information, that is, I believe information in times like now is priceless.
Oh yeah.
Right, because a lot of people end up in a lot of situations because of information technology, not knowing the right information of which they're supposed to know, to help them to move forward, help them to navigate through the obstacles that's in front of them.
Technology.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like it guides so much of our lives, but barely anyone knows anything about it.
Give us an insight.
Well, they're quite complicated things, these phones, right? I mean, there's like basically what you're looking at, if you pull it apart, is
Layers.
layers and layers of really intricate different bits of technology that have been sourced from all over the world. Like the level of complexity that goes into just giving you this, yeah, and that's before you even turn it on. Yeah, but like the supply chains, the architecture. I mean, we got a company like in Cambridge called ARM, and they do chip architecture, which is really the foundational technology for this whole thing.
ARM.
ARM, yeah, they're a very cool company. Interestingly, owned by the same people that own Boiler Room, right?
What?
Bruv, in it.
What?
Which is basically a lot of Saudi sovereign wealth money that is partnered with this guy called Masa-san, who's a Japanese billionaire. He runs a company called founded a company called SoftBank, which is a big telco network in Japan, and he runs something called SoftBank Vision Fund. They've got two funds actually, but the first one that was all like Uber and like Airbnb investments, like a whole lot of these big digital platform brands that appeared over the past 10 years. They were right in the thick of that. And a lot more lesser known companies as well, but one of the ones that they owned, they acquired it outright, is ARM, and they do what they call the architecture for the digital world. And do you remember like the BBC Micro back in you're about that right age? They had them in schools in the 80s. Don't
do that to me, bro.
No, but
you're about the right age.
We're the same age, bro.
Ruben, what are you doing?
You and me are the same age.
All right, cool. I do remember, bro.
Yeah, come on.
Ruben's cold, you know. Yeah, you're about the right age. Yeah, you know. Go on. Yeah, Ruben.
Yeah, but the people behind that. So the people behind the BBC Micro. And then they launched ARM, and then there were a bunch of computers that they did through the 80s, like the Archimedes and a couple of other ones. But basically, they worked with Steve Jobs to do the chip architecture for some of the early Apple stuff. Then he started working with Intel, and then he went back to working with ARM again. I'm pretty sure that's how it happened. And basically, the reason that the iPhone was so powerful and they were able to build that as a product was there were a lot of important components. One of them was the Gorilla Glass, like this stuff on the front there. That's really important. Like, it doesn't shatter in the way normal glass does. But then right in the very core of it, like without which you wouldn't be able to do anything at all, is the chip architecture and the way that it processes and stores data. And,
Crazy.
And they design that. And all they do is intellectual property. So they just design things, and then other people do all the building work. So it's just pure ideas.
So they're selling the ideas.
They're selling ideas. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're based in Cambridge. That's like a big national asset. No one knows about it. Like, they're sort of under the radar type business.
In Cambridge.
Yeah. And then all the different components that go into it, basically. Like, and so I wasn't working on the hardware, although I was analysing that market and understanding like the evolution of it and how all the different components around it fit together, because you needed to do that in order to go and talk to companies about how they could
make it work
operate within that. Yeah, exactly. And we were also working with the technology companies a bit as well, so like doing work with Google and doing work with Microsoft and that kind of thing.
Wow.
And then the main thrust of it actually was then what runs over the top of that as a hardware platform, basically, which is the apps, the app layer. Yeah. Underneath that, you have the operating system. So there are 3 operating systems. You've got the Google one for mobile, which is Android. You've got OS X, which is the Apple one. And then we are starting to see more Linux phones, which is like open source, and then also like de-googled Android, which is like someone's braille jailbreak. You jailbreak it, So, which means that they can't like extract your data from it. So it's more privacy focused. And those ones, the second 2 I just mentioned, Linux and the de-googled Android, those are the ones that we need to see more of, basically, because they're less controlled by the tech companies who have a lot of power, because we all walk around with one of these in our pocket, and you basically got 2 companies, Google and then their hardware ecosystem that they use, and then Apple, and then that's like 90% plus of the mobile phones on planet Earth, basically. So and then they have all that data running across their networks and
stealing people's data. Stealing.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty murky. Yeah, it is, actually.
And then they try to remarket stuff to the same people that they're stealing their data from, with other marketing strategies.
Yeah.
Little shits.
Yeah, and bringing, I know this about this person from over here, but then I can also go to that person and get that bit of data, and then this person over there can give me that bit of data, and then I can stitch together this much more like
powerful,
like 360-degree view of this person's life and what they're looking at, what they're searching for, and where they are, and who they're talking to, and
that's
what
crazy.
they're searching for on the internet. I mean, not obviously corporations can get down to that level completely, but it's all there, basically. It's mad, man. Like, we actually, people didn't really think it through, I don't think.
Do you know what, peeps? We it is very crazy, Robin. We started reasoning the other day. Was it? I swear it was yesterday. I'm not.
Yesterday, bro.
Yesterday we was having that reasoning, that conversation. Yeah. And we got to a part of the conversation where we was talking about the rainbow. Do you remember that reasoning? Yeah, yeah. And the flat Earth. Yeah, yeah. And the dome.
Yeah, the firmament.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Can we get back there? Can we go back there? Are we allowed?
What we could go there. What I said at the time was...
Go on.
I don't know enough about that to have an emphatic opinion about it, but I do think that it's definitely interesting and worth looking at.
Yeah, through. That's what you did say.
I don't trust much of anything, actually, at the minute. Like, everything's like upside down, crazy world. Like you said, right? Is that going to segue us into the topic?
Let's go.
Okay. So the topic exactly was everything godly is under attack. Is that what you said?
That is true.
Right. So that's a very good question. No, it's not a question, it's a statement.
Very good statement, very true.
It's a provocative statement, yeah, I think it is true as well. The thing is, I don't reckon that I reckon there are large swathes of the people who wouldn't even be able to tell you what godly means.
Oh, gosh.
You know that?
That is sad, because that means there's a lot of Baphomets out here. There's a lot of evildoers, you know. They call them devil worshippers, you know.
Well, we're in London, man.
Trust me, man. It seems like that's where everything's heading. I mean, the world has become more demonic. People are doing more black magic today than ever before, especially in the UK.
Yeah.
You know, the young youths don't know what they're doing, but they're running into that kind of world. Like I said about in regards to the labels, the prisons that they invest in.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you talked about that. Yeah.
Do you understand? Like, they invest in the prison system, privatize prisons, not the ones that were already government based, but all the new privatized prisons, or the ones that were government based that now has gone under privatization.
Yeah.
It is those labels that have all the top labels of the UK are heavily invested in that, and that's why they are now signing gangs. And it doesn't matter if these young boys are out there singing about who they killed last week and, you know, we're smoking this one and we're doing that with that one. They will invest in that because they know that it corrupts the youths more, and it day by day it makes it harder for them to go to their normal corner shop. It closes in that square box closes in quicker and quicker for the youths.
Yeah, and everything's a market. So basically everything's set up to generate profit and revenue.
Well, let me break it down like this.
Even the health system, like all of it, it's all just a money-making scheme, basically.
Well, they are registered at Company House. Every single one of these institutes, we do know that, right? So, with that being said, the youth have been under attack because they know if they ever get them to do what they want them to do, these people just sit back from there. Now, if they're going to invest in the prisons, then they're going to invest in the same youths. The same youths that's getting signed, they're taking out life insurance on these artists because they know that it is a win-win when you look at it from him. Do you understand? Like, if you go to jail, we still get a percentage because we run the jail and we own it. If you die,
and you become cooler in some way as well,
do you understand? So you get like a reputation.
There's a cultural cachet to it which they can make money from as well.
It's marketing,
which is your misery.
That's right. Facts,
isn't it?
That's facts.
Yeah, man.
But this is what the youth have to be aware of. Like, everyone, not just the youth, but everyone needs to be fully aware of what's taking place so that we don't get ensnared into some trap, some big old web, and we can't get out of it.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's easy because, like, when people look at the leaders in not just this country but like a lot of nations, really all around the world, they look at the leaders and it's like, well, you're all bad, ungodly, yeah, evil, really. Like a lot of what they're doing, well, that must just be the way that it works, and to get ahead, so I'll just do that. Yeah. So it's being led out from the top.
That's right, the puppet master.
So you can understand why, if I'm being honest, you can understand it. Why it almost looks attractive, you know? It's like, well, fuck it, everyone else is doing it.
Bro, it's been systematically set.
Yeah.
To look that way. It's been systematically set for you to view it that way. It's been systematically set for us to accept it in the way that it's being accepted. Everything to us is like, wow, that's just happened. Wow, Rod, did you see? To those that has set the thing in motion, they're just sitting back looking, thinking, look at them. There's no surprise to them because they've already set it in motion and it was supposed to happen. We're just not aware of it like that.
Yeah, and also like plans that were laid out over hundreds of years as well. It's like they're not moving rapid. Like there are things happening that are tactical and like in the moment, but like a lot of the big
shifts,
movements, big shifts that they're looking for, they're planning them out decades before. And it's just like slow waves,
hundreds of years worth of planning.
Yeah, right. Come on, like, you know. So you talk about attack on everything that's godly. Well,
that's right.
You know, like if you look in this country, man, like things like the Great Fire of London in 1666. Obviously, like that date is suspicious. Yeah, given what we know.
Come on.
603 the number of the beast. And they like this symbolic thing. So you think, okay, well, you burnt down half of London, and then you blamed it on an accident on Bread Lane or whatever it was. like I can't remember the exact name of the place, but that was it when it was a fire in a baker and the whole city went up.
That's right.
Yeah, and but it's like, okay, and there's a story that we're told about that, but then there's also a lot of suspicion about that, and that was 357 years ago. So
there's a lot. If you look at it from the godly aspect of things, right, bro? Like, anything that is godly doesn't really get through the door. It doesn't go through the door. It doesn't get the support. See, I can go if I look at the music industry and I say, all right, pop goes through the door and it gets to the highest heights that it needs to, because a lot of people might do stuff that they wouldn't do on a normal day. Cool. Then you got different other genres like flipping rap music, sold out again, doing stuff that they wouldn't normally do on a normal day, but they're doing it for the money that they're being presented in front of them.
Right.
So there's opportunities for those that are willing to have a price tag. Let's look at reggae music. Reggae music is one of the most wealthiest of genres that has never been paid in that way, my friend. Why doesn't it get the opportunities? Why? Why does it take for somebody over in America to re-sing a song that was sang by somebody from Jamaica, originally written and sang? Everyone falls in love sometimes. Everyone knows that song now. No one never knew that song when it was Devontae and Tanta Metro that sang that song and that wrote that song from in the early 90s. So watch this now. The artist that's re-sang it now, that's already got a deal with the labels and is in with the system. He sang it and he's now blown off of the back of that song, right? In the places that young man goes, Tonto Metro, who's the original writers and singers of that song, couldn't even be sitting in the same room with that artist. But that artist is allowed to utilize that song and blow.
Yep.
How does that work? And that's just one example, like just to show that there's when you sing about God in your songs, like
they don't like conscious lyrics.
They don't want it, bro.
No, definitely not. And you can see that, especially anytime anything goes near the majors, it gets like deviated in some way. It gets captured. That's like the way I read it.
It's crazy.
And they make it shit, innit? Like,
come on.
Basically, but you get people running it. It's like all of a sudden, because the thing that they don't get, like for me, I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff right in there. Yeah, like, so there's obviously the like suppressing the spiritual dynamic, the appropriation component of it, right? Because it's like, okay, you basically that's their work, it's their hook. And you've taken it and you've represented it, right? And everyone builds on everyone else's stuff, right, man? It's like no one operates in isolation. But like when it's proper blatant, it's like, right, that's a bit much, isn't it?
This is a full re-vocal of the same exact song.
Right, yeah.
Like the only little bit you've changed at the end, and you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But everyone for, and the same melody. Everyone for, like, you understand? There's many other songs I can go into that they've used for adverts, but they didn't use the original. They made somebody else re-sing it because they can control them.
So the one I saw last couple of years was, you remember Monster Boy? Yeah, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah, from Nottingham. Yeah, big up Nottingham.
Come on, my family.
They re-vocaled that, and then the new people blew up, and they were getting all the bookings, the festival bookings, and that. And then Monster Boy, they're like, right, what? The tune's blown up again, which is cool, but like we've missed out on like the major bit that you make the money on is the performance.
It's performance.
Yeah.
So you've given your performance right to somebody else.
Exactly.
And you ain't even cleared 10 years worth of income
in it
to cover yourself on that, when they're going to be able to cream at all sorts of prices. You know what I mean? Fees.
Yeah, when you get in the festivals, isn't it? It's like, for PA, I mean, I don't know exactly who they were playing for, but that's when you get into like the higher 4 and 5 figure and up deals rather than the £200 deals, isn't it? Like,
crazy.
There's definitely a level. They compromise the message and they make it all about it becomes about stars more, basically, like, and this sort of celebrity thing, and they sort of separate and move apart from everyone else. But it's like, no, if you look at particularly about like grime and jungle and the UK subgenres like that. Like they are big scene team efforts, really.
That is true.
In order to build the body of work and like enough of an audience and a hype around it.
That's right.
Like that, and it develops over years, and like the majors are coming and going, no, we just want like 2 of you.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, and you can understand why they do that, because they basically want to. They've got a big distribution system. That's all the majors is. It's like distribution of. We used to be more physical product.
That's right.
They don't do that no more, really. They do a bit, and actually vinyl's coming up again, and they're doing stupid things like pressing Taylor Swift records on vinyl, so no one can get anything like done in the underground properly. Like,
crazy. Stupid
things like that are happening. Like that's the kind of idiotic thing that they do. But then mainly it's like it's press and PR and profile and just the ability to like get the message blanket covered out across their audiences, their distribution platforms, really efficiently. And the more efficiently they can do it, the more money they make.
That's
so
true.
They don't want to have to deal with 20 artists when they can deal with 2. And actually, in an ideal world, for some of the majors, they'd rather not deal with artists at all, which is why they're all getting so excited about this AI artists, where they just come along and, well, we don't need you anymore. We'll just rip the whole of musical history and turn it into this like mash of stuff that we can sell, but it's not actually like it's got no actual spiritual content to it at all.
No,
it's just made up.
Bertie Boo, you're so right. Way back in the day, an artist would record a tune in Jamaica, and by the time they finished recording, they would be encouraged to sign the rights of the song away to whoever, and those who wouldn't sign found that their tune would be suppressed and wouldn't be given any play at all.
Yeah,
no, you're right. And if you go back to like movies like Harder They Come, that's why they made that movie, to demonstrate that was taking place at the time. You know what I mean? So you're definitely right. There's a whole lot more that happens in the music business that's really not good. Robin, and this is why we're having these kind of conversations, because to be fair, if you don't have an open platform or forum where we can discuss these things and highlight them and try and figure out ways of how can we eradicate that from happening if it's something that shouldn't be happening. You always, like, without the conversation starting or we having that conversation, it just continues to happen, right? Yeah. So through conversation and reasoning, we find solutions. You know what I mean? And that's the whole intention, to have the conversations in order to come up with some form of solutions in the end of how do we, you know what I mean, eradicate this? How do we stop this from happening?
Yeah. More independent labels that are more connected to their communities. That's like the main part of it, I think. And like just I guess calling out kind of what you're doing, but you see people talking about this stuff, you know, like Mike GLC.
Of course,
yeah,
he's
been talking on this.
Big up
like
Mike. No, can I just say, because I don't like to mention names in passing just like that.
Okay.
Big up Mike GLC, one of my big brothers, one of the founders of the street mixtape selling. He was the street distributor. Now you see how we were just talking about major distribution.
Yeah, but
Mike GLC was the major distributor on the street.
Right.
So with that, you gotta give him his flowers for that. Major labels learn how to market us through people like watching people like Mike GLC and what he was doing on the street.
Yeah.
Physically. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and was he involved with Channel U?
I'm not too sure. I can't really speak on that, to be fair. I can't remember.
I see. He was definitely calling some people out in quite a in-your-face way last year at some point. And
I think
about
he
some
did.
contractual things with their YouTube channel and
yeah. I think I did watch I think he was on one of the podcasts and he was saying some stuff. I think I heard Cat's name get mentioned. A couple names got mentioned on that, but yeah, those were the people running it at the time for us. You know what I mean? And a lot of favors were called. A lot of people got extra help than others. You get me? That's how the game goes. But one thing I do have to do is big up my brother Mike GLC. Manners and respect.
Yeah, big up Mike GLC. What I heard him talking about specifically is basically predatory contracting.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, you got someone who's entered into the situation, who's got some kind of position of status and power.
Yeah.
And maybe some access to a bit of money and like a platform or like a big distribution list or a label that they're running or whatever it might be, and they'll be like, okay, well, I've got all of this, I want a bit of what you've got here. And like, if you're young and maybe you've not seen a lot of money before,
you're gonna jump.
Then you're just like, oh, whatever, I'm gone. Like, you know, if someone shows you 50k and you've never seen a grand,
you're gone.
Then you can understand like what the dynamic is, but then what are you signing away at that point? You don't know, and so there is an element of risk to it, right? So they'll sit there and go, okay, well, we don't know that it's definitely going to be successful and all that kind of thing, and that's true to a certain extent. But like, I think that it errs towards the system and the money men too much. That's the point.
That's it.
And actually, I mean, way too much. And it's not just in music. Music's just a really good exemplar of the broader situation.
Yeah.
Because it's the same mentality all over the place.
That's right.
And kind of what they're doing is it's like, it's parasitic. The way I see it, like a lot of that sort of behaviour in music. It's like, well, we don't contribute to the creative output, but we're going to extract all of the energy and the value from it. It's like, okay, well, you are kind of just a parasite in it. Like,
you understand what I said? And I'm glad that you broke it down the way you just did. Because if I say it in that way, people think, here he goes again. You know what I mean? But
that's a parasitic model, like it is.
Facts.
Yeah. So I have this model that I draw. It's like a 2x2. So one, it's about how fast are you? Are you fast or slow?
Yeah.
And then are you selfish or are you systemic?
Okay.
Yeah. So like, do you do things just for yourself, or do you do things for the benefit of the system around you? Right. And on the on one side, if you're fast and selfish, you're a predator.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're slow and selfish, then you're a parasite. And speed's like how quickly you're moving, how fast your ideas, like what's your output like, you know. And then on the other side, if you're systemic and fast, you're a pioneer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a word that we know a lot in, like, people get talked about as pioneers pioneering MCs, pioneers. The one I think about all the time when I think about pioneering these days is Slimzy, because there's this great photo of him putting an aerial up, like literally climbing to the top of a tower block and going out into some extreme situation and putting the thing up just so that, like, so rinse could operate. You know, that was pioneering. Yeah, no one. There were other parts. Yeah, we have to big up Slims.
Big up Slims. Slimzy has to get his flowers, bro. See, Slimzy. Without Slimzy, Rinse wouldn't be what Rinse is. Without Slimzy, there would not be Rinse the way it was, and there would not have been a Dizzy the way there was a Dizzy. There wouldn't have been so many things the way it is.
London would be different.
Remember, there's real G's that had put their heart, neck and soul into this, risked their life umpteen times, and not just their freedom, but risk their lives to make this happen, just for us to be in the comfort of our homes and being able to hear things that we wouldn't necessarily hear. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Come on, so give them their flowers.
And then if you're slower, but you're still, you work for the system, the ecosystem around you. You're generous.
Yeah,
that's a good way to describe it. Selfish or generous.
Yeah.
Then you're like a pillar. You're a pillar of the community. Like, we can depend on you and build on you, with you. You know what I mean?
I respect that.
So you don't be a parasite, don't be a predator, be a pioneer, but be a pillar.
That's right.
What you got to try for, you know.
And I think that's what I've always tried to be within my community, is a pillar of that.
I think you're a pioneer.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're rapid.
Yeah.
You're moving at pace, bro.
I've always been. To be fair, it's hard for me to slow down because it's taken a long time for me to find what works for me.
Yeah.
You know, like that.
Yeah,
so when you actually find what works for you, you just stick to that. You tunnel vision. If you're smart. If you're not smart, you're gonna still be distracted and let some stuff take you somewhere else where you shouldn't be. But yeah.
Yeah, mate, it's like me. I'm scatterbrained. Too many directions going at once.
That's me, you know, I'm scatterbrained.
You got to be a sniper. You got to be a sniper, not a machine gun. That's another one that I like.
Yeah, sniper, precise shooting.
Yeah, that's it.
No innocent people. A serious work rate. No, manners I respect Claire, Megs, big up yourself. Natasha, my sister, manners I respect Bertie. Jealous Sounds, my big brother, manners I respect every time, and good evening. Big up Annie as well. Big up John, big up yourself, my family, good evening. Who else I see? Donna Starvey, my sister, Beer Love and on Noise Pollution. Good evening. Art Love, Noise Pollution, my bro. Claire, big up yourself, good evening. Robin, you don't know the chopping. Who else me I forget? No, me don't I forget nobody, you know, cause a heap of people them vex if me not hear them, you know. And Antonia Toya Fountain, big up yourself, man, as I respect, good evening. Yeah, I feel like I that, you know. Well on there. Alright, Lisa, big up yourself. Emily, big up yourself. Caroline, good evening. And Sarah, big up yourself, man, as I respect. Nadia, Art Love. And Nicole Refix, my sister, you don't know the choppings. Alright, go over up on the YouTube now. Audio Oracle, big up yourself and good evening. Zadie, big up yourself. Mad Max, my brother, big up Mad Max. Anyway, them a general, can't go around that something there. My brother, that, you know. My little brother still. He's my little big brother because he's bigger than me, but he's my younger brother. It's crazy, but yeah, how say it go. Big up Mad Max, my general. Big up Angel, anyway you're there. Yeah, them things there, that's the kind of reasoning, my people, you know. So much things I go on, it ain't right. Of course, anything godly, it gets attacked. They want right to be deemed as wrong, and wrong to be considered to be right. They want up to be down and down to be up. So when you're up, they want you to be putting up sad emojis. And when you're down, they want you to putting up smiley emojis. Oh, I'm happy. Oh, look at me. You know, it is a conflicting, confusing mindset. Carly, big up yourself and good evening. Saying is very confusing. We need to just take control of ourselves again, because I think we're being led.
Yeah, it's difficult to navigate at the minute for a lot of people, I think. Me included. But we become, like, to go back to your point, we become detached in this country from God, basically. Actually, as fundamentally as that, and that happened over decades. You know, like if you look at, you can read the First World War and the Second World War as like direct attacks on the Western civilization. Right, it destroyed 2 generations of men primarily. Like the whole of society suffered, but the people going to fight in the conflicts and sit in the prisoner of war camps and like do all of that kind of thing, like that was men, and they basically like just went you know, and then break down the foundations of the culture. And then there's a really interesting interview with this woman who used to be a Guardian journalist called Melanie Phillips, who's a Jewish lady, I think, and she did an interview with The Sun about 3-4 years ago. And I don't normally go to The Sun for my interviews, to be honest, but like she caught my attention. Yeah. And basically, this guy says to her, "Okay, so what should we be worried about? What should we be thinking about? Like, what are the problems in the country?" Right? And she's in English. She's from London, I think. Yeah. And basically, she says, "Well, the major thing is that since 1945, there has been a concerted effort to undermine and destroy religious belief in this country." And that's why I said a minute ago, there's a lot of people who actually don't know what that word godly means. And I think like there's a lot of like English people who are completely detached from everything that the church used to represent, and it shows.
I think over the course of a few decades, I think the churches have slowly become, or rapidly become, more dishonest, being run by dishonest pastors, pastors that don't genuinely have the passion for that work they're just scamming people. They're using it to scam, and you know, there's ways to make money in this world, you know, and a lot of people are good at acting. They're great at acting a masterpiece if it means that they're going to collect some money at the end. Now, when I was young, I used to go to church, and the pastors and the deacons and those that were in attendance, you knew they were serious about why they were there. Yeah, we were the children that had to be going to Sunday school, learning our golden text every week. So I'm saying it was real stuff. It was like I used to go to my auntie's people's church.
You got up in Brixton, yeah?
Yeah.
Did you go to the Seventh-day Adventist church there? You know, there's a big Brixton church. No, okay.
No, see, my granddad was a pastor, so he used to come and pick us, every Sunday.
Okay, right, you had your own thing,
His church was over in Peckham, so we used to always go over there, but then I used to go to a church on Landau Road with my auntie.
Right.
And her people them as well. So like evening services. If I stayed at my auntie's house, she'd bring me evenings. I used to hate it, but it was fun staying at her house. You get me, with my cousins and that. But going there, it was mad because they were serious. And if you didn't know your thing, bruv, they'll embarrass you.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they embarrass you properly. Like now I just believe that it's all about the money, the collection money that's gathered. How much times they're going to tell the congregation that the roof needs fixing and there's leaking water in and you know, we need to replace the benches and let me something, yeah. Oh, the bell.
Yeah. Or we'll just pray for you and it'll be good for you.
The bell. They want money for the bell.
I do like the sound of church bells though. That's something that I do enjoy.
Come on.
Yeah, like there's a lot of corrupt people in the church. There's a lot of people. I mean, you look at the Church of England. Like that's basically crazy. The whole thing's been completely captured. I mean, so like I did this. Right, I've been doing some interviews recently, like on some of the things that we were just talking about, like the technology and particularly what the state is trying to do with it. And in order to talk about the whole system, basically, you think about the big structural components of the society that we all live in. They're built on top of the market, which is about wealth generation, the state, which is about control, and then the church, which is about the human spirit. That's the way. Those are the kind of big structural components of society. Like certainly up to about 50, 60 years ago, and then basically that third one, the spiritual one, has been completely removed and undermined. And it now is, if you go back, say, 500 years, the church used to be a big dominant voice, spiritual voice, and for better for worse, by the way. There's a lot of bad things done in the name of religion. I'm not saying it's all good by any stretch of the imagination, but it was a counterbalance to the other bits of the system.
That's right.
And that bit's gone, and now what you've got is corporations in the market and in the state working together, so everything is about money and control, and there's no counterbalance, which is really what humanity is. The spiritual bit is the human dynamic.
So we're just consumers, bro.
We're meat sacks with credit cards.
There you go, bro.
According to their model.
Do you know what? When I remember going to church and they used to walk around with a collection basket. Now they're walking around with the tap and go thing. Like you can't say that you ain't got change to put into the collection basket no more. Yeah. I ain't got no coins or I ain't got no. They say, listen, put a $5.
God is watching.
God's watching you, you know.
God takes pay as you go.
Disrespect, big disrespect. So everything godly is under attack.
Yeah.
And so you would never see a superstar from Jamaica. There's never been who's a superstar? There's no superstar in Jamaica. They're not recognized in the world like that. And that's the problem. This is what I'm trying to show people. Because you're godly. You see, if you was demonic, everyone love you, the whole place, you global, mad.
Well, they'd promote you.
But that's what they do. They promote you to get you to that stage, my bro. You won't get to that stage because you're singing about righteous stuff. Not just that. Even when you see the bad man them in Jamaica that sing bad man songs, they still represent for God in their songs. Yeah. They say, boy, God know if a boy diss me, I kill him. And all them things. So just the reference of God is still being mentioned. It's not liked.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Because they want you know, they want to remove it completely from the conversation because the conversation is important.
Thank you.
Because that is the word.
Thank you.
And the word is how everything is formulated.
Thank you.
It's how we construct ideas, right? So if you just take God out of it completely, and then you have a whole generation of people who've been, they don't even have that word in their vocabulary, they don't understand what it means and it represents, then it's much easier for you to do things that are ungodly because they can't recognise them as so.
Do you understand? All right, so you know.
Yeah, man.
That's why I said...
Stand for nothing, fall for anything.
Thank you. I know my brother's on point anyway. Big up my brother RUBIN, bro. Yeah. Now, peeps, it's serious times. Word, sound and power. Carly, you're not wrong.
That is it, Carly.
Word, sound and power. You know, wrong there, so you're right. All on there. I forgot, I saw something. Angel said, there used to be a church. Actually, Angel, there was quite a few churches that used to run Saturday and Sunday schools, right? Classes, after evening classes for the children,
right?
Like to speed them up with their English, their mathematics, and all of that.
Right, exactly.
Where's all that?
Right, and so right there, that's just destroyed your community. Right there.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Because that's what the church is supposed to be doing. So it works at a low level, micro level, yeah, like
yes.
you're talking about, yeah, individual people, small communities,
yes.
providing a place to go to learn and to have fellowship with people, and it's outside of work or struggles, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Operates at that level, but then you go up to the very top level. The Church of England has got an investment portfolio that's worth £10.5 trillion. Yeah.
What?
£10.5 trillion. The Church of England has got.
What?
Yeah, bruv. And like huge swathes of the country that they control. All of the cathedrals, obviously, and then all the land that was associated with those cathedrals. Like the church is enormously wealthy, and they do not use it to benefit the citizens of the nation, really at all, actually. And a lot of the church estate is in like disrepair, you know, like it's they're not providing. There's a lot of good people in there too. Same as everywhere, it's complicated, right? But like the people at the top, no, they're all on the same page. They all serve mammon, innit? Like money.
Well, they all sit and have meetings. This is what the problem for me is. This, I know that there is a puppet master of all of these places. So you see, like all the churches and that, there's one that goes and sits down in the lodge. There's a top man that sits down with them in the lodge. Facts. You can't be running all this stuff and you're not a part of us. How do you get the building? We gave you the building. You're a part of us. You do what we say. You are going to do what we say. If this is why I said, back in the days, I know who was real when it came to the churches, because there was a lot of the elders, my grandparents' generation, that was going out and sourcing their own space in order for them to hold congregations, bro. Mm-hmm. All of those that went into corporate churches, bro. We know that it's like the church is like a record label, bro.
It's exactly the same, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a record label, and bruv, that's it. They've got you. Once they've got you, you're done out here, bruv. You're part of that whole system. Yeah.
So it's like high church and low church, and it's why that's what the Catholic Church is.
That's right.
Really, I mean, if you look at the Vatican, that's the accumulated wealth of 2,000 years of robbing people and stashing it behind your 30-metre thick walls.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I can imagine what's going on in there.
Crazy.
You don't even want to know what's going on in there.
Crazy.
I mean, at some point maybe we'll find out, but like, you know, that's as bad as it gets.
Crazy.
You know, like these people need to accumulate all of these things to themselves, so and to put themselves up on lofty positions and with big titles and all these ridiculous like over-engineered robes and all the pomp of it, and that's not where God is. God's in very simple rooms
God's just in
people.
God's just in every individual. You just gotta just acknowledge him.
Yeah.
Like literally, just find the best part of your world. Find the best part of your intentions in your world, and work with that. That's all it is. A lot of us get misled. We get led into things and we like it. We get led into things and we get away with it. So it makes us want to do it again. Repeat the bet. You know, like when you're at the roulette machine, you struck it lucky, innit, right? And instead of you changing the numbers on the thing, what do? Repeat bet, because it's easier and it's quicker, right? And with the hope that you're gonna get the same result again, like strike it lucky. What happens? You lose everything. Every day is fishing day, but not every day you're gonna catch the fish. Somebody else has to eat as well. Today you might have caught 5 fish. Tomorrow you never caught none. That's how it goes.
But the thing that you're doing right now might catch you a huge one in a month.
Do you understand?
Or a year.
Do you understand?
Or 5 years. Depends how big a fish you're looking for, right? But, you know, and that's actually part of it as well. You were talking about like what, you know, how do we address the issue of young artists getting suckered into deals that are not good for them, and like the bad side of the music industry. Part of it is instilling patience and like this
endurance.
This idea is like compound growth. Like you keep on laying stuff down, and you might not quite be at the thing where you think that you want to be, but actually, no one's going to just the best things don't get handed out.
Just like that.
They don't. Like you can't. You have to carve it out yourself.
Takes time.
And that takes time. And you have to like, grow, and like, as an individual, as a person, like that creative expression when you're an artist, it comes out of you, and like you need to form yourself in order to evolve that and to resonate it and express it out of you, and like that just doesn't happen overnight. Like you have to grow as a person, a man or a woman or whatever, you know. Like you
have to mature.
Yeah,
you have to mature like fine wine.
There you go.
You have to mature
like a fine wine.
Trust me.
Yeah, man.
It has to be.
Yeah.
Otherwise it don't work. No, it can't work no other way, because a lot of people want this overnight success, and a lot of people want this quick fix, and it's never built like that. And I hate having to even give them a breakdown of how long it took me to even get acknowledged or recognized. You understand, like the amount of investment in driving all the other artists that were already at the top at the time. I was driving them to their shows to make sure that they got there on time. Yeah. I stood up in the background just to watch and see how it's done.
And how they are.
And how they are and how they conduct themselves, and all the other bits and bobs, because this is going to be me next.
Yeah, like, so the one of the things I remember most about the past 3 years doing that phase transition, doing the project, was when Hatcher was getting ready to do his 24-hour set. And basically, he took over a room. It was about this size, slightly different shape. It was more like rectangular.
I remember it. I came down there, remember?
Yeah, no, of course, yeah. I'm thinking of it for the audience, like, well, they can't see the whole room.
Oh, yeah, the room. Yeah, sorry, peeps.
Yeah, anyway, like, big, decent, nice function one system, big table, like, spacious, like, table with the turntables and a mixer, and it was really low ceiling, and he was just in there like playing around with one of those big new Pioneer mixers with the effects unit on it, and he was just going techie as hell on that. And I was watching him. It was him in the room, all of his acetates spread around the place. Now basically he was just testing the system, understanding the frequencies. What can I not do and not do with the deck? Like, is there feedback coming through? Mm-hmm. Like, if I go really crazy with my elbow and the effects unit, and is it skipping? You know, like just settling into the space basically, just like feeling seriously comfortable. And it was the thing I could imagine comparing it to was like being in a room with like a prize fighter, like a UFC fighter or a boxer or someone when they're warming up. And just that like the kind of like the purity of it, I guess. Like he was just totally absorbed in it, and he's one of the top operators in that.
Come on.
In that booth.
You got to give Hatcher his flowers, bro.
Yeah.
Big up my brother Hatcher, you know.
but it was like a menacing presence as well.
Of course.
Like, you know, it could do damage, and it was just like, oh wow, this is heavy, you know. Like, 'cause I DJ'd a lot, but like seeing him in his element there, I was like, wow,
inspired again.
I was like, yeah, this is you just totally bringing this different level of energy, man. It was hard. Yeah. So I know what you're saying when you talk about absorbing,
of course,
people's energy.
Yeah, and you wanna absorb the right energy.
Yeah.
You don't want the wrong energy to rub off on you. Tell ya. That's how people get misled, get led, and get left. See what I'm saying? Don't do that one. I've always asked questions. It's a healthy thing to do. Hey, big up yourself, Bertie. Get kicked out of Sunday school for asking questions. Hey, Bertie, you was unruly when you was young, innit? I know. He was inquisitive, them would I say. Them say inquisitive, I say. That's a good trait anyway. Too many want it done for them without putting in the work. Rather, neither can some evolve. They are happy living in the same time warp. Yeah, you're right. You know what? Balanced mindset. You're so right. You're so right on that one. And Zadie, you've also got to protect your own energy. That's right. You can't just left your energy out there, you know. Silly, big up yourself, sis. Be a love, you know. You know the chops. That is so right. You have to protect your energy, because in these times, whoa, you don't have to have much. People just, trust me, your personality and your energy will make people want to do you harm, honestly, because they can't remember. Energy is not something that is acquired at a store. Your personality is not something that is acquired at a shop. There's nowhere to buy these things. You have to acquire this accumulate over a period of time, and you've got to see the right characters to acknowledge the right things in those characters to say, wow, I would like to apply that kind of style to me. Do you understand? And you start working on yourself, and you call it a progress, work in progress. You could be under that reconstruction for like 10, 15 years. You're always,
yeah, man.
Blink and you're just there.
Break it down again and again and again and again and again. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you want to grow, you've got to change.
There you go.
So, like, there is no other way to do it, and people are scared of change.
Of course.
So they're scared of growing.
Change for them is scary. What do you mean? But that means I don't get to do. No, I'm not doing it. What do you mean?
Or I can't do it.
I can't.
Yeah,
but the universe don't understand can't. It understands can. The universe doesn't understand some of the language that we use or some of the wordings in our vocabulary that we use. It doesn't understand it. The power of the secret is to use the right wording. Very straight, not words that are interpreted in two different ways, but just that one. You know, like that. Yeah, I can do it. I will do it.
Yeah, and
I'm doing it.
How you talk about yourself. Yeah, like your interior monologue and like everything, man. Like
it's a reflection. It's going to reflect.
Well, because people carry things around with themselves from like their earlier life, like deep embedded within them. Something sharp someone said to them, and it just hits them. It's like, no, that defines me. That one thing, I'm going to carry that, and it restricts.
You're right.
Your ability, you know, from a young age, man. Like it could be anything as well. It doesn't even have to be that bad.
You're right, bro.
You know.
I believe in positive energy always, but I believe in speaking my mind, which most people don't want to hear, especially if it's the truth. Robin, big up yourself. You're so right. This is where I struggle. I struggle with being myself, because being yourself comes at a cost. Not everyone's going to want to hear that. Not everyone's going to want to be around you. I've got so-called friends or so-called associates that stay far from me because they know they can't be the fake version of who they try to be around everyone else around me. I already see through that, and I already know who you are. So because I'm not going to sit here and play that little, you know what I mean? Your personality trick today. I don't do that.
If you're a real one, you make people who are not real very uncomfortable.
Of course.
Because they know that they get seen.
They get found out straight away. We know who they are. And they know we know who they are as well. That's the funny part about it. So with that, they will stay far from us. And it's nothing bad. It's good that they stay far from us, because You're not my reflection, my friend. Very true, I don't play those games. Neither do I. You know what I mean? Can't play those games with people. I tell ya, dangerous times, bruv. Can't play them games with people, man. You know, them time, yeah? No, sir.
When they're upon that.
But the ungodly,
Yes, sir.
to get back to the topic,
That's right, sir.
they're everywhere. So we talked about in the church.
Yeah.
So the place where they definitely shouldn't be, they are there.
Right.
But then they're definitely elsewhere. They're definitely in the markets.
When we party, when we go out and rub shoulders in all these places or bars and all these pretty looking things to me, because they're not just nice people. These are demons in beautiful shells. And I acknowledge that that's what's going on a lot of the time. A lot of the time our people are being led into stray places they shouldn't be. But if it wasn't for that pretty face and that big bum and that big breasts and that puffed up lip and all the rest of the glitz and glamour, long hair and that, if it wasn't for that, they'd be going back to their house. They would have gone back to their house. Nice and merry. No, that young lady has led them to places they wouldn't normally go by themselves or on a normal day. So you just, most people find themselves in compromising positions and situations.
There's a lot of temptation out there, yeah.
Yeah, but
and they say there, my girl always says this, like the devil doesn't come with two horns and a tail and a pitchfork. They come looking like a beautiful woman.
There you go.
And also diamonds or a watch or like something like, you know.
Always something that appeals to you.
The material temptations of the earth. That's where the devil is.
Where's the horrible things? Because I thought the devil was ugly and horrible. So why don't we see any of that?
Well, people are ugly on the inside.
There you go. But that's what I'm saying. We won't. You got to be careful of all of the pretty things, all of the nice things that we like. We are under attack as human beings. They want to depopulate at least 3 million of us, and that's a small number, isn't it? How many was it? I swear it was way more than 3 million.
Well, I mean, there were varying reports on it. The Georgia Guidestones, which have you heard of them before? The Georgia Guidestones?
No.
So basically, someone paid to have these huge stones placed, like a bit like a Stonehenge style thing, not as big or as old.
Yeah.
But these like big plinths of whatever, like heavy rock,
yeah.
Right, and they're like carved stone tablets, and they're written in it. I'm not going to quote it exactly because I'll get it wrong, but basically it says that one of the things that they want to do, that whoever's funded putting these things in the ground in Georgia, in America, basically says we want to reduce the population of the earth to 500 million, and we're currently edging towards 8 billion.
No.
So there's definitely someone who's putting monuments in the ground in America who has got an idea about what they would like to see. Now the question is, how are they going to do that? Are they even capable of doing that?
Are they already doing that?
Or are they already working towards that? I mean, they carved it in stone, so
it's already set. That's my point. It's already set.
They clearly meant it.
All right, look.
People don't carve things in stone if they don't mean them, you know.
When you see things like tsunamis happening, bro.
Yeah.
We need to know that it's not natural causes that caused it to happen. Now, when we start going into like the harp machine that controls the plates under the flipping, you understand? And when them plates move, it's a madness. Now we know that China is a leading economy when it comes to, it's a world leading when it comes to like Alibaba and export, and they export the most to the world, right? And they work for a lot of companies around the world.
Yeah.
Now to flood and to run a tsunami over to China was to mash up their economy because they're the leading. China actually rebuilt within the same year. 1 year. And it was back to normal, bro.
After, did they get hit, the tsunami in 2004?
Nah, there was more recent than that.
Okay.
There was one before lockdown. Hold on, sorry, before lockdown, maybe 2016.
Not Fukushima. Japan.
I think so. I think it could be, but don't quote me as right, because I'll tell you the God's honest truth, bro. I remember that it was just before I flew to China and those places. And when I went there, I was like, well, nothing ain't even. There's no telltale sign of nothing.
Yeah. Well, they definitely got hit.
Bro, I watched it. I had a video of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like the whole place was underwater as far as I saw, right?
Yeah.
Nah. That's
but they can build back like super quick, man. Like so, like when
can't chat to them.
The Americans are good at it as well, because when I was reading about this guy yesterday actually. Like I can't remember his name now, but basically there's this very famous road builder and just builder generally, but he specialises in highways in the US.
Yeah.
And he's made loads of money, like billions, because he always delivers early. So after the San Francisco earthquake, which was I think like early 90s, I can't remember the exact date. Anyway, like a huge chunk of the freeway just collapsed. Yeah, between like LA and San Francisco, like loads of the roads came down, and basically, I think it was LA said to this guy, like, if you can rebuild the highway network for us in a year, then we'll pay you this amount of money. And then my man came in and just got every cement mixer, every man in a hard hat in the US, focused on doing this thing, brought it in early, and like every day that he got it in early, he was getting like an extra 500 mil or something crazy like that, because it was worth that much to the city to be running up now. And like he actually made that happen. So when industry gets behind something, we can do pretty incredible stuff. Actually,
yep,
we definitely can. And then and then industry can create some really appalling things as well. So like if you look at like a lot of what the digital platforms that they're building with their identity systems,
everything's gone. They've already they surpassed. We've been following, and this is what I'm saying. How comes China, as a world leading country, is still classified as a developing country? It's bursting at its seams with the population out there, and it's a developing country, bro. China is a world leading country in construction. Claire, big up yourself for that info as well. You're right. World leading. So yeah.
Yeah, but then the average per head wealth will be a lot lower, because the population's so big, basically. It's a lot of it, so but yeah, they're definitely
and that's the investment though, Bertie. That's why they're smart. Most countries owe China for the construction work that they've done for their country. Most of the roads that they've built for them, i.e. Jamaica and most other little places. Yeah, I get it.
Belt and Road, that whole initiative, it's basically they built an empire, right? Really, it's like a 21st century empire. They
smashed it. Can't even lie. They smashed it, bro.
Well, they had the vision.
They smashed it, bro.
Yeah.
And they're winning. Can't go around them.
Yeah, I don't know. I think basically where we're headed to, like these huge. I mean, obviously there's a lot of power in them, but things have got to break down into much smaller components
for it to work.
Yeah, because like everything's people, like a lot of politicians, everyone in Westminster right now, they look at the Chinese model and are like, yeah, we like that, because basically that means we have all the power, we can do everything. Yeah. And we'll just run it on like a WeChat, like a single app. So all we need to do, we got my man's number there, we got one guy, we just call him up, everything just sorted, and we can intimidate him, we can manipulate him, we can, like mess with his money, but we'll let him be rich, and we'll let a few of these people pop up, these like oligarchs, but only as long as we can control them. If we can't control them anymore, then we'll
Get rid of them.
We'll start accusing them of this, that, or whatever, and we'll confiscate their wealth. And sometimes we'll put them in prison. And maybe if we're in Russia, maybe we'll even assassinate one of them. Like these things happen.
It's been happening.
Yeah, for real. But even like Jack Ma, the guy from Alibaba,
Yeah.
he got in a load of trouble. Like he disappeared from the public eye. This guy's a billionaire. He's Jeff Bezos of China, and he started saying a couple of things that the CCP didn't like, and then all of a sudden he's having a very, very, very bad time.
What?
So it's a different.
It's a different ball game.
Different ball game over there. Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And I wouldn't want to live under that, because like totalitarianism is not.
Dictatorship.
Not my fight. Thank you.
How WeChat runs similar to a WhatsApp. My people, for most people that are not aware of this app,
Yeah.
it runs like a WhatsApp. But imagine your WhatsApp having your bank details attached to it,
And Uber.
and yeah, so you can't get an Uber without WeChat. Without your WhatsApp, you can't get a taxi. You cannot get an Uber. You can't get anything without that.
Yeah.
You cannot order any food. You can't pay for any food. You cannot pay for any flights. You can't pay your parking tickets. If you get a parking ticket, it goes straight to your phone, straight to your WeChat. No, that is the one. That's the only one on this.
And they'll stop you from accessing, like if your social credit score is not sufficient,
Mm-hmm.
then you can't like your Zoo or there we are. If your social credit score is not sufficient, then you can't travel on a train to go see your family at New Year. Like they'll lock that kind of thing off. So it just manipulates your behaviour basically. And obviously, because you're controlled by the state, if you're critical of the state, then that's bad for your social credit score.
All of this stuff. Look, I was sitting down having a conversation with some of the organisers of the tour that I was working on at the time, and one of the group members was giving me an insight into one of his friends that had flown to China with some ecstasy tablets, got caught with the tablets, ended up getting 15 years. Now, of course, that's harsh. Do you understand?
That's a risky move.
But watch this, because how strict China is with their laws. That person, not being from that country, had gone for an appeal on the sentence. When they've gone for an appeal on the sentence, they done a reinvestigation into the case, and came back and said, "Hold on, we realise that you had more of a part to play than we actually thought." He actually got sentenced to life, and that was by just even trying to appeal the case,
right,
or the sentence.
It's like we told you the first time, you don't get a second chance.
Forget it.
Yeah,
forget it.
You don't want to get into a mess with people like that.
The way that it works is like this. Look, China is a smart little place. It's not stupid. Watch this.
Nice.
Somebody got beaten up outside a pub in China, a UK person. Okay. So when he got rushed by like a few of them out there, he's called the police. The police have said, I'm gonna so basically he got arrested. The other set of people got arrested as well. They were all in the police station, but the people who beat him up, they've been let go. They've let them go early. Like, so he's like, "Why have you let them go? Like, what's going on? I'm still here. Like, I'm here for like hours, and you let them go." The policeman, they say, "I come. I'm gonna show you something." Brought him into a room, showed him a few screens, showed him himself in the elevator, bouncing the woman, in the pub where you punched the guy. Bro, there's like 7 different events that this guy, and different locations where they've got this one guy.
He's a close-up.
Yes, bro. Mug shots and everything. So when you wanted to talk about China is a very specific They are to the point with what they're doing.
That's a control grid, yeah. Like that's basically what they want to build here. Like we've got more CCTV in London, and we've had more in the UK generally than anywhere else in Europe. I think for a long time, and particularly if you go to the US, like CCTV. Partly because it's such a big country, like, and you got to cover all of that. Like, it's much more complicated and more expensive to do it. But yeah, we've been conditioned to accept that for a long time, and it's all under the guise of safety. But it's like
we think that we've got a lot of cameras here in the UK, but I tell you something, you need to add 6 cameras to every bus stop at the same time when you're doing your mathematics. Let's change those cameras from the ones that we're seeing up on the poles to the facial recognition cameras with the floodlights to go with them, because that's what China's doing. That's what they've been doing for the last 14 years.
Yeah, seeing that where they flash up.
Yeah, proper, bro.
It's just so invasive. Like, you can't live like that, man. Like, that's not. You don't want to live in that system.
China was cold, so like nighttime I've gone to go and buy cigarettes. Got my pullover on my head. Yeah. Walking down the road. You know how you look cold when it's cold. So I'm kind of snuggling myself in my coat. Bopping down the road, bruv. I couldn't believe it's about 10 or something, 11 in the night. I couldn't believe the whole pavement just lit up just to see me. And you know their cameras, when it zooms you see the red thing going around in a circle. Ding. It just spins around in a circle.
Yeah,
bro,
like
forget it, man.
No.
So yeah, godly. I stick with the godly stuff, man, because that's what I know. I know what's right from wrong. I know clean over dirty. You get me? And my heart's always clean. My hands always clean. My hands is not dirty. And we haven't got bad intentions for nobody. But we see the bad intentions that the government's got for the people. And that's why we speak out against it. And I know it comes at a price and a cost. Who cares? You understand? I just know that life is worth more than anything that they've put before us to make us want, to make us like be attracted to, whether it be cars, houses, jewelry, clothes, trainers, chains, watches, whatever the materialistic thing is. Just know that nothing ain't greater than the human flesh. Nothing. Because when we leave, we're leaving, and we're even leaving the flesh as well. We ain't even taking the flesh when we go. So just wake up.
They've got. So a lot of this green revolution stuff that's been talked about is all based on these battery technologies, and China controls, I think it's like 87% of the global supply of this stuff, right? So it's like there's a lot of things that are being promoted that are very heavily geared towards making that country, people who operate around that, a lot of money. And also, like, you know, a lot of the German automakers as well. So like if you look at BMW and people like that, like car sales were kind of dipping off, you know. But if you can get the regulator to write a law that says we have to change, not just only selling certain new cars, right? They've actually got targets for the number of cars on the road that have to be on the new thing.
That's right.
And that run out over like 20, 30 years. Mm-hmm. So they're just like guaranteed
to get rid of this
market,
guaranteed to bring this back in.
Yeah, exactly.
Guaranteed to get rid of that.
We can we got and so there's all the different structural bits of the system. They're all just like lined up, and then the political narrative just is there to push it through so that it goes in the direction that they want it to go to.
Claire, you are so right when you talk about the lithium batteries. I can't even pronounce it. Lithium.
Yeah.
Batteries.
Yeah, they're the ones that burn real bad.
Those are the ones that are blowing up houses and
you did the thing about the microscooters the other day, innit? I saw you. That's it.
That is what they are.
That's it. It's like once that's going, like you actually can't put it out. Even the fire service will just have to leave it to let it burn.
That's right. That is right.
Like, well, okay, this ain't good.
Yeah.
And you want to transition everything to this now.
And this is what I think the transition is going to be, even down to the normal cars right now. I think give it a year from now, they're going to tell all of us that we need to change our batteries to those lithium batteries.
Yeah.
Whatever the friggin' word is, lithium batteries. Yeah. Boom. So that's crazy, because those batteries are going to create more is more detrimental to us. I mean, when I looked at the scooter CCTV that was in the people them's house, the way that set alight and the way it goes off worse than a rocket. Not even a rocket, firework. You know when you first light a firework?
Yeah. Yeah, fizzing.
Yeah, it's got that.
Yeah.
Now that is what captures everything in the house, any surrounding of whatever. And big up to anyone that had a scooter that listened to that podcast and thought, no, let me get rid of this out of my house now. Big up, because prevention is always better than cure. And we don't know where and when and the hour or how these people are going to get us out. So we have to be vigilant, militant and smart. Very.
Yeah. Definitely. And they can turn it off whenever they want.
Come on, bro.
So it's more that centralisation stuff. It's like, well, hang on, like if you've got a petrol motor and you've got some petrol, then you can go. But if you're dependent on
battery and battery life,
being able to plug into a mainstream
main source
electronic supply grid, and then also because they're basically like the cars now, the new cars, they're basically like your phone. Like they run an operating system, and actually people like Google and even Apple, but less so, but Google certainly, they're like very aggressively moving into that market. So basically you'll be running your device and your motor off the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's gathering data and sharing data. Yeah, it's happening right now.
That's happening.
It's happening right now.
It's happening.
Yeah, and then it's just more centralisation basically. They get visibility of all these different bits of this smart grid, right? When people talk about smart, it's like I'm going to forget like the actual words for the acronym, but it's smart basically means like surveilled, monitored, accessible, something and something. I can't remember the exact terms, but it basically is an acronym for all these things that will mean that they can control it. And that company I was talking about earlier, ARM, the thing they're talking about at the minute is the architecture, like the silicon, and how to design the core technologies in order to enable that next thing, that connected grid.
Crazy.
Yeah. And
crazy.
Yeah, and it's mad.
That's crazy shit.
Yeah, and then they just run their algorithms across it, and that's what a lot, artificial intelligence runs on the data that's captured out of the device ecosystem, right? That's where it all comes from, and then that's what they run that stuff over, and then they think about new ways and new markets and new value creation or value extraction opportunities that they can build on the top of all of this technology and information that they've got access to. It's like how they move.
You're not. Hold on. Yeah, the vapes have the same battery.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yeah. The vapes. Zadie, you're right, because they done an experiment with the vapes the other day, putting it in some water and leaving it overnight, and the water was black. You got to remember this.
Yeah, everyone's on those vapes, man.
Yeah, because it's this. They want to kill us quick. Now watch this. Now we got to do the science quickly. If you drink water that's been put out by the sun, so you've got water left outside. Tomorrow is sunny. Day after that it's raining. You're overs. So you ain't got sun the second day. Already, from the day that the sun was out, it's contaminated the water because the plastic has started to melt within the water. So there's so much different chemicals that we're going to end up drinking through that water now.
Right, yeah, mate.
Making sense?
Yeah, come on.
All right, so let's go back to the vape now. The vape is water. It heats up. It's in plastic. Plastic heated up.
Yeah.
Hot water.
Yeah.
What is that? That's all the chemicals that you're...
And that's before you even think about what's in the smoke as well, right? Because
all right, so then that's why...
That's just off the device.
Because I've tried a vape before, but I don't like it because anyone knows that the first pull you take of a vape, you want to cough.
It's very dry, isn't it?
Do you overs?
Yeah.
For something that's got water in
like
it.
acrid, yeah. Yeah, the ones that I see. Have you seen the little ones, like the
little square ones?
Is it called Proud Mary or something?
They're
all they're pushing them a lot at the moment. Like it's basically, and you see even like young kids with them as well. Well, we used to smoke. Man, I started smoking when I was like 13. Like
when I was 11.
That's not a new thing.
Yeah.
But like these ones taste like sweets. They don't taste like Marlboro Reds that you nicked off your mum. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Like so it's like. And like you see all sorts of people with them, but then you look
Lost
at it, it's like, so what's it? Oh, Lost Mary, is that it? Yeah, you know. So it's like, okay, well, what's in the smoke? Like, what's that doing to you? Like short term, mid term, long term. Like, what are the implications of that? Maybe we don't know. Maybe they haven't tested it. Like, even though it's on the market, like there's all sorts of stuff that gets put out that you know, in food and like those sorts of products that it's not that well regulated, you know. And then also, like, what's left behind? And they've all got like a little. They're disposable, but they've got these batteries in. So there's like the risks you're talking about. I don't know the exact technology they use, but then like, you know, some of those precious metals, they're mined in Africa by like kids, and you'll just throw it away like that every 2 minutes. And the only way you can have that thing
is if
that you're just sucking away on is if they're doing what they're doing
digging
over there.
up that stuff out there
With their bare hands, isn't it?
Come on, hard labour.
Right, isn't it? And but the thing is, the phones are basically like that. They're slightly better, but not really. You know, a lot of this stuff is like it's not good in like numerous dimensions. You know.
It's true.
Not good for the individual. Not good for the world around them either. And not even like immediately around necessarily, like the whole thing.
It's crazy, bro.
People got to think more systemically.
Yeah, as a community-based thoughts, not just for yourself. Self-centered thoughts. We can't have that. Like we have to start. Yeah, we need to start being our brother's keeper, bro, and our sister's keeper as well. You know what I mean? Meaning that you're watching their head back and you don't want anything bad to happen to them, just like you don't want anything bad to happen to yourself.
Exactly.
That is all it is.
Exactly.
It's not complicated neither, you know what I mean? You can read some of them comments if you want, you know. You can start from a balanced mindset somewhere. iPhone chargers, blow up.
Where's that?
Right there, you just had it. Further down, right there, yeah.
Oh yeah, balanced mindset. iPhone charger blows up in bed. We were on the news the other day, is it? Okay. Well, like in the wall? Plugged into the wall?
Must be.
Yeah. Boy.
Go on.
Yeah.
Zadie, big up Zadie.
Big up Zadie, gives you a head rush, Lost Mary. Yeah, right.
You see what I'm saying? Vapor fluid. A vapor is a fluid. I used to vape until after 6 months of dry cough. I then vomited pure fluid sitting on my chest.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There is.
Yeah, and they vary a lot, don't they? So, and people can just make them because like the base level of it is like glucose or something. It's like real simple, and then you just put the flavors in it, and people are just cooking that stuff up, you know, and then like you're getting a lot of fluid on your chest. Yeah, like that's the side effect of that. I've never really been on that, to be honest with you.
No man, just give me my Rizla, my cigarette, my herbs, and that is. I like the process. Don't just try and shorten my I'm not lazy. I want to sit here and spend 3 minutes crushing out my little thing. I want to spend the extra minute and a half stretching out the Rizla and lining up the something them and rolling up my. Yeah, that's a process. That's a part of. Nah, I ain't gonna cut that out just for a vape. Get the hell out of here, please. Drop me out.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm with you. Old school.
Come on, my bro.
Old school.
If more people would look out for one another around the world, it would definitely be a better place. Definitely, but this is why we need to scream the echo effect of this unity thing, what we're dealing with. And I mean, I can't look. Let me put it bluntly like this. If I haven't got an actual problem with you directly, then we're cool. Do you understand that? Like, if you have not murdered any of my family members, then we're cool. We haven't got a problem. I just don't understand why the world can't get along. But watch this. The reason why the world can't get along is because friends take up friends' arguments and they try to venge for their friends' arguments. That has nothing to do with them. Now, if an individual goes out and kills somebody else that I know, it's not for me to go and venge either side of that argument. It's sad that I know both parties. That's how I look at it. I never look at it like, oh, I got to go and venge this or go and venge that. Because number one, I wasn't there. Number two, I wasn't a part of the argument, because if I was, it wouldn't have got there. And number three, I'm not a part of none of the outcomes. Do you over? So I can't now put myself in the middle of it and say, well, you're wrong, you're right, I'm on your side and you don't come over it. That don't make no sense. So I say to the youth them, if nobody hasn't killed you, if nobody hasn't killed your brother, your sister, your family direct member, then you should let individuals deal with their individual beefs. If you haven't got a direct beef with anybody, I think you should stay mutual and just stay out of it, because not everything is for everybody to be a part of. And this gangster world and road world is not about man them holding hands. It's about man standing on their own 2 feet and standing by what they say. Your word is your balls. A next man ain't supposed to be holding a next man's balls in an argument. A next man shouldn't be holding the next man's hand when something's kicked off and, oh, he's looking for this one and that one's looking for that one. Let them look for each other. Why are you getting involved? Or is it because you know that your friend is an idiot and your friend's going to get his head bust, so you know you don't want the embarrassment because it's going to look bad on you? Because, oh, it's my brethren, oh, your brethren's head get bust last night. I get it. But you got to let people deal with their own issues, because it gets detrimental where people can lose their lives unnecessarily.
Yeah, and wars get fought on that basis, man. Like, if everything is driven by revenge, then it never ends, because there's always someone's always done something to someone. If you go back through history, like, appalling things have happened.
There you go. But that's what I'm saying. If somebody's killed somebody in your family, I can't say yay or nay. But for those that haven't got that issue or that story, then unify, because if nobody ain't warring with you like that, what is your frigging problem? And that's my message. I'm confused. Not everybody's killed each other. No, so what my point is why can't we all unify then? The ones that hasn't done that mad thing, unify then, innit? Set the example for those that are out there, that are not in the situations that we know so well of. Before they get there, they say prevention's better than cure. So let's try and prevent. That's all. That's all we're trying to do. That's all we are trying to do, my people. How you feel about the reasoning tonight, my people, man? Big up my brother RUBIN for the check-in, because you don't know. It's my brother, you know. Don't get it twisted. We got a lot of brothers that are very educated. They've got a lot of information, a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom, a lot of understanding. And this is why I will sit with my brother and have these kind of reasonings with you lot, my peeps, because this here is another reflection of myself, another brother that is out there that sees what's going on in the wider world and sees the tricks of what was that lyric that I said again that you quoted it yesterday in our reasoning, innit?
What, the boys in blue, they're trying to kill people like me and you?
Yeah. The boys in blue trying to kill people like me and you. Like, so the messages are out there and it does touch the people. The message does. Trust me. The war's not with my brothers. The war is against the boys in blue. Globally, I see what they're trying to do, trying to murder people like me and you. Now, we know the info, what we're going to do. We know how the thing go, what we are going to do. You can't murder Ringo, what you are going to do? We need the soldiers to defend with people too. So that's what the thing there is, isn't it? Yeah, very good and enlightening. Big up yourself, Andrew, man, as I respect, man. I respect
just building on that,
yeah.
Like, the most important thing is it's not just the boys in blue, it's the sister. It is in part, importantly.
That's right.
That's why I wrote the lyric.
Come on, my bro.
Because you come out heavy on it, and it's like, yeah, that is correct, and I can understand how certain people feel like that, definitely. And because certain people have had a different end of the system over the decades.
That's right.
But it's not the individual coppers per se, Like it's the system that they're basically protecting.
That's protecting them.
Yeah, they are very much aligned to, right? Like, you know, if you look at the lockdown restrictions,
Yeah.
they were actually the police forces around the country didn't actually have to legally abide by them. They had to voluntarily adopt them, and every single police constabulary did. So there's 47 of them, right? So they're certainly complicit in some of the bad things that have been going on, right? That's definitely true.
Facts.
That's definitely true.
That's crazy.
Yeah, innit?
Well, but the reason why I say that still, because I need my brothers out there that's killing each other and warring with each other to understand that there's a greater war that we all have.
Yeah.
Collectively, like, is really bigger than us. And when I say it's bigger than us, it's bigger than us individually. The only way to fight this demon and to conquer this demon is together. And singular, we will never, ever, ever. They just send in the troops, one man get lift up, tie up, gagged, and that's it. You're out of there. They just mash you up in a one cell and that's you. The rest of us turn idiots and just become onlookers all of a sudden. Everyone forgets their position, yeah? So this is what I'm talking about, like knowing what needs to happen. Knowing who your enemy is. Let's start with those that has always killed our people of our community, and there's been no justification for it. There's been no outcome that's been where we can look and say, okay, well, this was unjustified, and the outcome is equally measured by the unjustification of this person's power. We haven't got any of those as an example. Yours. So that's why I say the war ain't with my brothers. That means when you see me, I'm not here to war with you. I'm here to enlighten you. I'm here to open your eyes to what your eyes are closed on. I'm here to make you know there's a greater war. My brothers, we need to link up now. East, west, north, south, up north, down south, wherever the hell you are. All countries, this is what they don't want. They want to have a GM summit every so often where all leaders of all countries sit around a table like this. And they make decisions on our future. When are we going to sit down with each other and have a conversation about our own future?
Right there, man. That's it. That's it. They definitely don't want people like you and me talking to each other.
I say it, go, man. Bro, God. Yeah. Man, as I respect Robin, bare love, you know. It's always love reciprocated right back. Always. Never get it twisted.
Yeah, here's one. It's who the boys in blue take an oath to. Right, you just said it. You just said it right there.
Yeah.
That's a much neater, smarter way of saying what I was just blathering on about. Like that's it, I think.
Oh, big up.
Yeah, like because a lot of it is so there's this thing that is real interesting. Like there's a movement in this country, like it's quite widespread now actually.
Yeah.
Who are looking at foundational documents of the nation. Yeah, and in the US they got the Declaration of Independence, right? Like, and that was a Declaration of Independence they declared independence from the British Crown.
Okay.
It's the same crown today. It's the same lineage. Like, it hasn't broken at any point. And a lot of the things that they talk about in the Declaration of Independence are the same things that are going on right now in terms of like the taxation and like crazy wars and spending lots of public money on wars that we shouldn't be fighting and all of this kind of stuff. It's the same patterns of behaviour. It's just like a few hundred years down the track. You know, they got Declaration of Independence. We've got Magna Carta. We've got the Bill of Rights. We've got all these documents that our ancestors wrote and laid down. And it's very easy for people to be very dismissive and see themselves as like a more enlightened version. You know, because it's 2023 and I've got an iPhone, so obviously I must be smarter than the person that wrote Magna Carta, but maybe you aren't. You know what I mean? Like
Maybe you aren't.
Maybe you are. Maybe they actually had some real insight into what the real underlying problems were.
Yeah.
And all of that is still relevant today because it's the same people that you're talking about on the other side.
That's true.
Right. So
true.
why don't we go and look at and you can guarantee that like 99.99999%, like that tiny proportion of the population have actually ever read it. They don't know. We're not taught it, you know. So all of that sort of stuff is denied from us in the schooling, like.
That should be taught.
Yeah, it definitely should be. Yeah,
It should be taught.
It should be because there's a lot of power in that. Like,
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and that was written on behalf of the people, right? So by people who were interested in protecting humanity, right? That's why a lot of that stuff was written. You know.
Crazy. Bro.
Yeah, and basically there's this organisation they're called Republic of England. They're real interesting.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just I think it's republicofengland.com. And basically you go on there and you can just read through and it summarises like a bunch of they're like legal principles, right? It's basically the foundational elements and rights of man, like and how we get to operate within this domain, basically, like this spiritual domain, and that's how they saw it, right? They saw it as like creation itself, and this is like how it was governed, and people are going back and looking at those things because everything's getting a bit wild at the minute, and there's lots of people trying to introduce lots of new ideas in quite aggressive ways and new ways of doing things, and you know, like new value systems and new laws and like new everything. Like they're really talking about like fundamentally transforming the world at the moment, you know, like a lot of what we hear is about that, and people shouldn't assume that all of that is well-meaning, you know, like there's a lot of old stuff that we got that is very powerful, and it's and when you start to want to talk about it, some people get very uncomfortable, right? Like you were saying, like and the way that they suppress that message being shared in the music industry, for example. So it's like there's a lot of people just going real deep and asking very deep, profound questions about about what's happening, and that's what needs to go on, right? Like that 24/7 news cycle. That's and with these little short sting commentary in the moment, like little hot take on this, hot take on that. Like that's not actually how you can get a proper understanding of something. Like to really understand something, you got to sit with it.
That's right.
And you got to absorb it into your your core.
Most people's not got the attention span like they used to.
Yeah, it's the phones, man.
It's like a minute worth of
it's the phones, bro.
attention to what's being said, and then it's like off to something else or distracted again. Like what? How do you get around that part? Well,
I mean, so part of it is you've got to think about new ways to communicate complex ideas. Luckily, the good thing about these is that you can actually, if you're smart, compress a lot of information into not that much time. That's something I need to get better at, actually. Like I write a lot, and then I've done a lot of interviews recently on some of these topics that we're talking about, like elsewhere, and like some of them they're like always like an hour long, or some of them are like nearly 3 hours long. Like that was a beast of an interview. Like anyone who wades through that. And it's some quite niche content in there, and there definitely has been some people who listen to it. But like you say, like beyond that tiny little niche, you need to get it to a broader audience. And like most people, they ain't going to pay attention to that. But no, so you got to break it down.
Got to break it down, short, quick, fast, to the point, bullet points, punchline, done. Outro.
Yeah, it's not like a sniper, isn't it? Like. This one issue, you take it down.
Pap, good night.
Yeah.
Like that, bro.
Exactly.
So with that being said, like the information for so many people goes over their head. Some don't even acknowledge what's being said half the time. So I get that. But that means a lot of the information gets lost in transit. A lot of the key part of the information, the fundamental, it's mad. like breaking it down into like an hour's worth of a conversation broken down into a minute.
Yeah,
that's mad.
And people need to be curious as well. That's the other thing, right? Like, so a lot of people have quite a static view on the world. Like, so I spend a lot of time just constantly just new stuff constantly. And like the more that I do that, the more I realise they always say that it's like as your understanding of the world increases, you realise exponentially more how much you don't know. Like it's just constantly evolving because it's infinite. You can't possibly know all of it.
That's right.
And so if you sit in this tiny little well of information over here with a bunch of fixed ideas that you've had for a long time, and you don't interrogate them, and you don't like open up to new perspectives ever, then like, well, what are you doing? Like you got to grow, and you got to grow through reality, and like extract all the goodness from it. You know.
A lot of people are stagnant people though. They don't mind sitting in limbo and just sitting in limbo and remaining in limbo. Yeah. And as long as they're in limbo, with a few friends in limbo with them, then they feel like they're just floating by. Yeah. Just floating by.
No, there's definitely a lot of that. That is a very nice way of describing it.
No offense, trust me, but I do see it. It's crazy. We need to have more of a goal-getting energy. I feel like that is
definitely true. Yeah, as like a society.
That's right.
But a lot of people like there's two sides to every story, right? Like we've been through the ringer actually, like with the lockdowns and all of that, all of the nonsense around that, and the constant like drama, like the psychological drama. Like a lot of it is deliberately constructed.
That's true.
And like other things going on that have been detrimental to our health, like as a nation. It's definitely true. Like they've been attacked on a whole number of different fronts, like the way I see it, and so you can understand it from one perspective, but then like also like there are some people who just want an easy ride, and like you actually need to bring like energy and game into the thing in order for you to get what you want, and actually all of us to prosper together as well. That's the most important thing.
Well, it can't work no other way.
No, it doesn't work. No,
do you understand?
It literally will not work.
You want
to got to get engaged.
You want to skip the way. You want to skip the step-by-step guide. It can't work. You can't skip from 1 to 7. The steps are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can't skip 1, 3, 7. You can't do that. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And every time these people, many of us, because we've all done it, try to jump the queue, like not jump the queues to say that, but when we try to like shorten the work, cut corners, so to speak, in work terms, we're trying to cut corners to get to that place. It doesn't ever work. You have to go through the step by step.
You're cheating, basically. You're cheating yourself, and
you're not cheating us.
You're cheating the process. And
you're not cheating us, because down the line we're going to know that you are a fake carbon copy. Yeah, there's going to be so many parts of the thing that you can't do, and you're with the years, and you're supposed to can do that. That's supposed to be like second nature. You're supposed to know it like the back of your hand. You don't know that. It's embarrassing. Don't embarrass.
No, I feel like you're talking to me, man.
No, don't say that. No, I'm not throwing. No, Ruben. That's what we call throwing word, bro. We're not throwing a word after.
No. But the thing is, I'm definitely guilty at times of that attitude. I have been over the years, man. Like, but you had to break that.
Bro,
that's in order
I said we.
Yeah. No, come on.
Including me.
No, come on. I'm with you, but I understand exactly where you're at.
Fully me as well, bro.
But I'm just saying I can feel it. Yeah, I can feel it. I can feel it. You hit me. No cheating.
No, but Olan, you know what I want you to touch on, because I started watching something and I heard you touching on the Tony Blair scenario.
Okay.
And that, to be fair, just to give you a quick backdrop, that's kind of a bit new. That information was new for me. I didn't know that he was actively doing anything in the background. Yeah,
but no, he's right at the forefront of it, actually, to some people, right? Because he's been on Sky and been on like some of the mainstream newspapers. There's been a bit of commentary. I think it hasn't been completely obscured, but he's making some quite profound statements and moves about what he's saying should happen next, and the people that he's got around him are saying about what they want to happen next, basically. And he's surrounded himself with some very corporate people, like big tech, big pharmaceutical, and some of the big think tanks, like the Rockefeller Foundation, like for real, like the guy from the Rockefeller Foundation called in from New York, was giving his little thing. It's like, you really seriously showing this, man? Like, a lot of American people, a lot of like East Asian people, and and a lot of digital systems, digital control systems, basically, like the things that are built on these phones, and they want everyone on the phones. Everything's got to be digitized, and there are definitely a lot of benefits to the technology. I mean, look, for a start, we were talking to you on the internet
That's
now.
right.
Yeah, and like this, to do this 10
15
years
ago.
ago, 15 certainly, you couldn't do it.
Hell no.
All right, so but the internet itself was created by DARPA, which is like Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. It's like a special unit in the US government that does like off the edge of the map projects in technology. Yeah, they set it up in response to Sputnik, basically, when the Russians launched their satellite.
Yeah.
The Americans set up DARPA, and they wanted to go to the moon, so that was one of the first things that they did out of it. Or that's certainly what.
So they said.
That's certainly what they said they were doing.
Was that allegedly?
Yeah, isn't it? Like,
allegedly.
Where are we going now? So they did that. They invented the internet and invented mRNA technology that we've heard a lot about recently. I won't use the V word. Basically, what was I going with that? I was talking about DARPA.
Yeah.
And I was talking about Tony Blair, wasn't I?
That's right.
Yeah. So actually, and then we were talking about the internet. So basically, there's a theory that they invented the internet as a control system, right?
That's right.
Yeah. But the thing is, because we can now do this with it, we flipped it on them.
On them.
So so the tool that they created to enslave us is actually the thing that has freed us.
Do you understand?
In it, like, so that's quite an entertaining thought, right?
That's crazy. To put it in that term, for real.
No, for real, that is what's happened. It's like they created it as like a distraction, and I think there's a big part of like the generational conflict that's happening right now is because you had a generation. You're an interesting age. We're the same age, sort of. Like you're slightly older than me, but we both fit into.
Why do you have to throw that in though, bro?
No,
you keep throwing that little bit in.
Competition, man.
Nah, bro, you keep throwing that bit in. It's not fair. I don't like that bit.
Right.
You can't keep telling people that we're the same age, like but you're older than me. Like, where's these digs coming from?
Right,
I thought we was brethren.
It's like talking to my girlfriend. This.
Nah, he's like, no, big why for that, bro. Why? Look what he's gonna done now, my brother. Nah, big up Ruben. You know it's all love, bro. Man. You're funny, though.
We have the same argument, innit? Anyway, so the internet's flipped on them. We flipped it.
That's right.
And they're going, oh shit. And then we're sat here talking about this stuff, and people all around the world can watch it. You know.
It's a beautiful thing when it's used in the right way.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So like so this is the thing. Like some of it's useful, but you need to know how it's been built. And ideally, you need to be able to look at how it's been built and actually understand the code base and everything. So it's important for more people to understand how the technology is constructed, and like some of the stuff I was talking about earlier, like the actual like patterns, you know, because that's what they are. It's all patterns.
So everything's about pattern.
Everything's pattern. Yeah.
All right, even human beings.
Yeah.
They have a pattern. Now, if you are a good judge of character, just be a good judge of pattern. You will never get it wrong.
Yeah.
You will never get it wrong. Exactly what they've done over there. Red flag. Yes. Why is it a red flag? Because it's the same pattern as what you've seen before over there. So why do you think you're going to get a different result? You follow them to the finish line if you want. You idiot. Not me. I'm not doing it. The minute I see red flag, like the last red flag, I'm gone. I'm gone. I gone. Influential property.
Yes.
Not intellectual property.
Intellectual property. Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Yeah, and that's actually that's like the foundational bit of it. Is what's the tech, and then what's the legal construct around it, and how are you going to commercialise it?
That's right.
That's really the crucial bit. Is like how is the money flowing around the system, and then where's the data going around the system? Like if you're capturing data, and like what are we, and what are you running across the data?
That's right.
Yeah, and actually for a lot of these artificial intelligence, a lot of those technologies, my perspective, and I've been in it like pretty deep, and my view is that if you've got access to that much data, you probably shouldn't.
That's right.
And you probably shouldn't be building an artificial intelligence algorithm to read it. So actually, a lot of that stuff just needs to not exist. And I don't know exactly how much yet, but you know, maybe it's all bad. It's possible.
Bro,
you look at where it's come from.
Bro, the fact that we've only just literally starting to come to terms with the fact that people are able to hack other people and their sites, and where we thought we were secure with two authenticating factors on your pages.
Yeah.
So we thought we were safe. We're only coming to the realizations that nobody's safe. Now they come with the AI bots and the AI that can now take your voice off of YouTube. Even this speech that we're speaking right now, they could just take 2 seconds of my voice and then re-enter it into the AI machine, and then type what they would like Patrick to say today. Now Patrick might say something like, they might have me say something like, "Oh, I confess to murdering this person or that person." You people are just gonna hear the voice that you hear and you know so much familiar with. The minute you hear that familiar voice, you're never gonna question that. You're never gonna say, "That's not right. That's not Patrick. He would never say that." No, because we're so small-minded and they've dumbed us down to think, as soon as you've seen this, that means that. Facts.
Yeah, they can definitely do that. So like we were talking about this yesterday, you know, Zoom, they just changed their terms of service, and it basically says we can take any video or audio of you and we can do whatever we want with it, including creating
content.
Like content with this, and by using the product you have agreed to that.
I would never use Zoom ever again.
No, right.
Nobody, don't ever put me in a Zoom meeting. I won't be attending, please.
No.
I will not be attending. I will not be attending.
No Zoom meetings.
No, it don't make sense.
No, and they're a partner of the World Economic Forum, Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. They are. They're the only, and it's funny because they got real big in lockdown, didn't they?
True, because everyone had to depend on them.
Yeah.
Meetings, work meetings, and etc.
Yeah, and they're a Chinese company, innit? So they've been built in a market. In order to operate in that market, they have had to comply with all the things that you, or like operating in a world that is built to enable what you were just talking about with the flashing lights.
That's
and
right.
Literally like camera paparazzi in your face, walking down the street, level of surveillance.
That's right.
They come from that world. So they then done that. So then they're building. That's a big part of the technology that society's been running on for the past several years. You know.
That's crazy.
It's like, oh, actually, hang on a minute. Was that a bad idea? Yeah, it might have been. Then you can. But there are other options. You can replace it. It's just you got to use the different technology. You know. And then the question is like, how reliable is all the other technology? And you have to
that's weird because it's not really funded the way this one is.
It's
heavily.
Yeah, and like, you know, people. I use Telegram a lot, but even people like the guy that runs that, Durov, I think his name is, like some Russian guy lives in Dubai, I think. We used to. You look at that and it's like, okay, I do trust this, but then I do know that you also censor people. So
you're a part of them as well.
So there's something going on here.
He's a part of them as well, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's a pocket of the same trousers.
Yeah. So what you really need is like you got to I think in-person meetings.
Yeah.
Are actually going to become really important because a lot of the online environment, like you say, is going to become very deliberately like murky,
manipulated.
Yeah, bro. Like and it's being in person with other human beings and patiently and calmly listening to what they're saying and taking deep breaths, because everyone gets like it's quite a triggering environment. I mean, basically, but it's deliberately set up in a way that is designed to like unnerve us and make us easy to manipulate. And actually, like so I've started doing interviews for this website called UK Column.
Yeah.
Who, and that's the one we were listening to earlier when I was
Yeah.
looking at the Tony Blair Institute for Global Change. In it, right, so that's one thing with the Tony Blair thing. It's the Tony Blair Institute for Global Change. So it's like he wants to do
That's the heading.
global change. That's the name of the organisation.
I'm done out here.
That's the name of the organisation. And then the conference that he's done is called The Future of Britain. So my guy, who's this guy, and I'm not going to
Name him. Don't need to.
well, no, I spent quite a long time in the interview gunning him anyway,
don't.
so I don't need to do it again now.
Yeah, cool.
Like, but he's not. Well, we're going to listen to you for. You know what I mean? At this point,
Yeah.
it's just nuts. Yeah, it was. Oh man, I lost my train of thought again.
Lost train of thought
Yeah,
again.
what was he talking about?
I've lost the train of thought with you. Right, so Tony Blair,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, UK Column. That's
Right.
it. Yeah, UK Column.
See how you just find to like that
Yeah.
smart guy, you know. He knows the camera's rolling, you know. Knows the comments are gonna start going left.
Yeah,
Quick on them.
Yeah, exactly. I talk about UK Column, and the guy that founded it.
Yeah.
So I'd like to shout out Debbie Evans, by the way. We've done some shout outs. I'll do a shout out. Debbie Evans is a real smart woman who I've been working with recently, and she knows a lot about a lot in healthcare and different places. And we did the interview about the Tony Blair thing together, and she's.
I was watching her. Yeah, she's sick.
She's great. Yeah,
Great.
big up Debbie.
Big up.
Then I'd big up all the directors there at UK Column, and the one that in particular that I was listening to a podcast of. Yesterday is this guy called Brian Gerrish, who founded it, and basically he spent his time rooting out corruption in like local councils and that kind of thing in Portsmouth, I think it was, basically, and like got into a lot of the system and like the corruption in it and how it's all funded and how it's all structured, and it's like seriously dark, man. It's like looking into basically like a human trafficking operation, like big bits of the British state and the court system. And
that's another deep convo to be had.
Yeah.
Now, the trafficking, human trafficking, the children, bro. That's another big problem that we've got right now, which needs addressing.
Yeah.
And this stems from like the social services standpoint, right round, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, mate, everything, yeah. Like, and, you know, it's easy for some people who have not been on the thick end of, like, social care, foster care, like, family courts, like, all these different bits of the system. If they've not really encountered it, like, they don't really understand, like, how it works, quite how bad some of it can be.
That's true.
And you know, there's a lot of families that get broken up, and there are a lot of things that get done by people in positions of power that get glossed over, and you know, and it's constant, you know, and across the whole system really. And this guy Brian Gerrish talks about it really eloquently, because it's the difficult topics.
Yeah.
And he comes at it in a very like dispassionate way, basically. And I've not actually met him, but he's one of the gaffers at the place that I've started doing the interviews. Yeah, and like he's I was listening to him and I was shook by it actually. I had to listen to it again straight after that evening.
Yeah.
Like so it's James Dellingpole. Shout out to James Dellingpole as well, by the way. I like James a lot. He's done some amazing interviews. I did one earlier in the year with him.
Yeah.
About this thing called Genomics England, which is like an NHS program that is like uses a lot of these technologies that we're talking about.
Yeah.
And James also interviewed this guy Brian Gerrish, and you should go and check out those interviews, because like there's a lot of important topics getting discussed.
Getting discussed at the
minute,
moment.
man. Yeah, so like there are a lot of really significant big structural things happening in across the whole system at the minute, as it relates to governance, technology, spirituality is a big one. And actually, we started off. The topic was, is everything godly under threat right now?
That's right.
Yeah, right. So I think that's a big part of it as well. And in order to like follow along with those, because they're real deep conversations, man. And out of them we'll formulate whatever the next iteration is of the system that we're all gonna collectively build together as a united people. You know,
we are the system. You see, before I go any further, let me big up Mother Aries and Dee Dee and the whole family. You see me, Uncle Derek, Auntie, you don't know the choppings. Yeah, the system is a very tricky thing at the moment, which doesn't really serve the people, and that's all it needs. That's all the people needs to understand, is that the system is not serving you.
Yeah, right. It's all money and power.
Would you like a drink, my bro?
Oh yes, please, man.
Give me a second, my people. Just give me 2 seconds, my people.
A little commercial break.
That's right. That's right. Say a word, my brother. Sorry about that, my people. Back with some beverages. You know how the thing goes. We have to yeah. And what I should have done is something else, but don't worry about that. Nothing before it's time. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let's get some rhythm in the background again.
That carnival next week.
Yeah.
Week today.
Carnival's gonna be a madness. I just hope that everyone steps out with the right intentions just to enjoy, because we've been under so much suppressive, weird energy for a minute. All we need to do is just let our hair down and just enjoy, spread love,
good times.
Yeah, and create good memories. That's it. Like the rest of it is all, it's dead, out of style. We don't want to see them something there. We're gonna have to youth them out there. You get grandmas and, you get me, aunties, and we don't need them to see some of this stuff. We just want them to enjoy the day. Let's just bring some money back into our community for the day. Have fun, link with some new people and some new faces from different ends and different corners. How we used to do it. You get me? Big up yourself, Michael Mac, my big brother. And Andrew, big up yourself. Tina, big up yourself. Coca Blacks, you don't know the champions. Yeah. That's where it's at. You get me? Yeah. We can't. Yeah, so boom. The system.
The shit stim.
Oh, you just fucking.
Oh man, I took your line.
Man said the shit stim. I rate you, Ruben's my G star. So what the shit stim? I said what the system? He said what the shit stim? Big up my bro. He's on job. Not playing no fucking games, bro. Fuck them. They think they're smart. Listen, the only people that's gonna have voices are people that invest in themselves. If you have a voice in these times right now, they will try and censor you, they'll try and silence you, they'll try and profile you. This is the game, that's how the game goes. When they do these things to you, then, it affects your income, it affects the people that's around you. They try to affect all the closest networking things around you, right? So the one thing you're gonna have is money to invest in yourself, to keep yourself being heard. Enough good, genuine people that know you, so that when you do speak, they're gonna run campaigns against your name. They will, but those that know you will just know that that's not you, and that's all that needs to matter. The rest of it don't matter. Most people that make the most noise are people that don't even know us. How about that?
Mate, yeah, that is certainly true.
I mean, they don't even know us, bro.
Yeah, they call it middle level violence. It's not straight out violence, it's just in your vicinity. Like it's like passive aggressive, innit?
All right.
We'll suppress things from you in order to perpetrate violence against you in an indirect way.
There you go.
You know.
I like the way you put that, because it's very much so. That's exactly what it's been. And we gotta just be very smart and mindful of half of the things that's taking place around us at this moment in time, my people, because we can't be quiet. We can't stay stum when we see what's happening around us and happening to our people. And when we're humanitarians, we want to warn our brothers and our fellow sisters. We don't want to sit down and, because we know, keep it to ourselves. Let's save ourselves. Let's find an area, safe space and naff off. Nah. We're here with our people and we're saying, listen, time for wake up, stop perpetuating foolishness. We're grown, we've matured, we've done it all before. This is like, we've outgrown this kind of behavior now. Come on. We know what time it is. We're not trying to run down being the guy no more. We want to be the guy by owning things that we work hard for and being able to inspire somebody else to want to do the same thing by seeing us do our daily routine, which has become normal for us. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Role modelling.
Role modelling. No, well, there you go. You know, some of us are role models and some of us are just models playing a role. Big up 5-0. Big up my brother 5-0. Anyway, there.
Yes, 5-0.
Models playing a role, bro. There will never be a role model to us.
5-0 the Jungle MC, the old school, yeah. Original.
5-0, my big brother. Yeah, we don't hide and talk. We talk brawling.
I've got many tapes with 5-0 on.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Foundation.
Nicky Black Market tape I got with 5-0 on. That's killer. That's some of the first stuff that I bought, man. I used to go and buy like tapes from I used to live in Castle Donington outside of Nottingham, and there was a market on at the racetrack. It's where the superbikes is.
Yeah.
You know, like they're the superbikes and Ducatis, right? It's bad. We used to go when I was like sort of like 12, 13 years old. No, a bit older than that, like 15, 16. I'd go up there.
Yeah.
And there's a market, and they sell knockoff rave tapes in like, this is like 97, something like that. So they were a few years old, I think, at that point, like a couple of years old. It wasn't like cutting edge. So you couldn't get it really back then. If you're outside,
Yes.
Like, people don't understand that now.
Yeah.
It's like I would go to Bristol to buy certain tunes from Bristol. You were only going to get in Bristol in like Purple Penguin or like one of them, or Breakbeat Culture was that other store down there. You know, like you go to buy those tunes from there, and you get a different selection, right? And then you go to London, go to Black Market, and get a different thing in there. Or like if you go to Manchester, like Eastern Bloc, like you'd actually have to go and get it. It wasn't just like there on the end of the thing. You know, people get like vexed when they can't Shazam a tune in the club. It's like, bro, like
them tune is not no handline tune.
I've got tunes now that I heard. So there's one track, it's a Ragga Jungle tune. I heard Randall play it at Flashback at the Q Club in November 2000.
Yeah.
Or 2001 maybe.
Big up Randall, my big bro.
Yeah, big up Randall. All time.
Big Jenner.
Too Hot to Handle. And he played a track, and I still got the melody in my head. I can tell you that now. This like rolling jungle tune, and I've never found it. So if anyone recognises that.
Nah, furthermore, Randall. Randall. I Randall. My big bro, yeah, Randall.
Call it in.
Draw for that shot there, man. Draw for that tune there, brother. You know the shot is all, Randall. Come on.
Yeah, man. Like, I don't think that I've butchered that too badly. Like, that's my memory of it. And he did a 2-hour set, basically, and it was like, boy. And even, and that was old school then.
Yeah.
That was 2000.
Wow.
And he was playing 93, 94 stuff.
That's 23 years ago.
Right. No, but I was 2000s. Yeah. 2023, innit? Yeah. So that was old school then. So those rhythms are old now, man. Like, but there's still like a lot of that stuff not been bettered, really. Like, you know.
We got Jumping Jack Frost as well, you know.
Yeah. See
the legends, them, you know. I rate the legends, you know.
Yeah. I saw Frost and Skibber at the Bomb in Nottingham. Did you ever go to the Bomb in Nottingham?
No,
it's a real good club. Tiny little cavern of a place.
Yeah.
Like 200 cap, main room, and it was like a cocoon. It was like the curved white sort
Okay.
of siding to it was, and then the system was built into the sides of the space basically. So it was like being in a speaker almost. But the system it was sick. Detonate, you know, Detonate Festival. Yeah, you must have worked with them, I'm sure, like over the years.
Big up Detonate, man.
Big up Detonate. Big up James. Big up Kat.
That's right.
Yeah. Old school crew, man.
That's mad.
Yeah.
What?
So I saw Frost and Skipper on a Thursday night, and they just rolled in. They just booted it off.
Look at that. Claire says it sounds like Rude Boy Monty.
Okay, all right, okay. That's the first clue that I've had.
Like Claire.
In 23 years.
Claire, big up yourself, Claire, because she's on point with stuff more time. Man.
Okay, Claire.
I big up Marlon Bashment, my big brother, every time. Manners and respect plus enough tax family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Okay. Right, if I find that, Claire, big up Claire Oliver.
Come on.
If I find that now because of that tip, I'll be very happy. I owe you one. Because I've been carrying that around, innit? Like, and that's what it was like, right?
Yeah.
So another one I remember. I was at the end. It was like a hardware or a RAM night maybe.
Yeah.
And Bad Company opened in room 1 with this dub plate, and GQ was on the mic and was like, "This is the new track on my new label." And it's sick. This track's called Mystic Amen by Clips. Big up Clips. Big up
Clips.
GQ.
Come on.
Yeah, like
Mad thing.
killer. And basically I had to wait for 18 months. I was like, I need to hear that tune again, but there was no way to hear it again. Right, so you know what I mean? Remember those days? Like, it wasn't even that long ago, but that was all, you had to carry it. I heard it once, and I don't even think it got a reload because it was the first tune, and they just ran out into something else. And I was I had to wait for 18 months. No phones recording it, nothing like that. Like, I didn't find it anywhere else. You know, like looking for it, but it was just on like locked down, basically. You know.
Do you know what? When you just said it, you just really just brought me back for real. You know.
Yeah.
No clips, no phones recording it, nothing.
And then I found it, and I was like, boom, and I still hammer that tune today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, it's a ridiculous tune. Like, just.
That's mad. That's mad though.
The Amen is mystic.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it definitely does what it says on the tin.
Madness.
Yeah.
History right there, sir. That's what I'm talking about, man. Man knows what time it is out here, you know. It's all about living good with your people, you know, and having great memories to look back on.
Those are my memories of Carnival, going to the end. Basically, we used to go Carnival and go to the end, to the drum and bass.
A lot of people don't even remember them clubs, the end.
No.
Bagley's studio.
Covent Garden, yeah. So I went. I was down there the other day actually, and because basically I did a little like a bit of a stunt kind of thing. I wrote a letter. I won't go into all the details right now because like YouTube might not like all of it actually. So, but anyway, if you go to riseuk.substack.com, you can go look at it. I wrote a letter and sent it to a bunch of people around town in quite a public way. And one of the offices for one of the companies that I sent the letter to, a company called McKinsey, is right next to where the end is still there. It's still there. That building is looking more and more dilapidated, but like nothing's actually happened to it yet. It's just sitting there, and it's as far as I'm aware, that venue is still complete underneath the streets of Covent Garden.
What?
Yeah, man, like it's just theirs, and that's my favourite club in London ever. Like perfect size, perfect system.
Bad system in there.
Yeah, Thunder Ridge system, innit?
Big up yourself, Claire. Claire's old school, you know.
Yeah.
Alright, Claire, come like you're a little bit older than me, you know, Claire. I have to just use Rubin's one. Yeah, man. Come like you're a bit older than me still. Get me?
Was that really inappropriate? I'm sorry, man. Do you know what?
You're alright, man. It's cool.
I tell people I'm slightly autistic.
No, you're too
I don't actually know if I am or not, but you know,
your excuses.
You can get away with some stuff.
Your excuses are hilarious, man. The man says he's autistic.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Tina Brown, big up yourself. Chris Francis, my brother. Manners and bare respect. My people, this has been such a nice reasoning. I can't even lie. I think there's going to have to be a follow-up to this reasoning.
Yes.
And as we've passed the 2-hour mark, I don't think we need to stretch it any further. You know what I mean? It's been a nice little reasoning on a Sunday. You get me?
Yeah. I enjoyed it, mate.
Yeah.
No, for real. Thank
It's
you very
always a
much
pleasure.
for inviting me.
It's always a pleasure, my bro.
Shouts to everyone out
Yeah.
on YouTube, on Facebook. Big up yourselves.
Yeah, man. It's always love over this side, bro. And it's just a natural energy. Yeah. Nothing forced. Nothing forced.
No, I've been tuning in, man. I've tuned in a few weeks
Yeah.
to the lives.
Oh, big up my family.
Yeah,
man.
for real. Like, I really rate what you're doing. I
Yeah.
think it's important. It's really important that
I respect it.
that real people communicate with each other.
It's true.
And find our way together.
Facts.
As simple as that, you know.
Facts.
Patiently exploring.
Facts. Listen. Thanks, Killer. Awesome conversation. Much respect. One love. Always. Robin, big up yourself, manners and respect. Bianca, big up yourself on the check-in. Emily, you know the chop-ins already. Big up everybody on the check-in on this great Sunday. Yeah, and I want to big up Balanced Mindset. Big up Angel. Big up Divine. Big up Simon. Let me see who else. Scroll down. All that. Getty. Big up Getty, my big brother. We say Getty, my family. Big up Getty. Big up Logic's Army. Big up Mighty Mo, my family. Big up the whole of my Artless crew family. Nikki, big up yourself, my G. I just see you on the check-in, you know, my G. Thank you. Manners and respect and good evening. Zadie, big up yourself. Who else am I missing? Dean. That's who it was. Dean. Big up yourself, Dean, my general. Be a love, manners and good evening. Who else may I miss around here? So there's someone else that I skipped and missed. I just see them now. Audio Oracle, big up yourself. Good evening again. And thank you for everyone checking in. And if you haven't subscribed, then, I mean, go over on the YouTube and subscribe to the channel over there, and it'll be gratefully loved. You know what I mean? Because that's how we help to build the community over my side still. Facebook is good, but you don't know. We're trying to build the real platform, which is over on YouTube still. You see what I'm saying? So if you got 2 minutes of your little time still, you know, just press a subscribe over that side there. And press a like over there as well, because it helps the algorithm. You get me to share it out to the right people. You know what I mean?
So that visibility.
That's what it is. And I didn't know how important all them things are, you know, like just...
Yeah, no,
it's a whole different world, peep. So I'm just trying to gauge with it, you know what I mean? Big up everyone tonight that's been on the Godcast. I appreciate love every single one of you, you know, enemy, all friend and family and all them, and you see it. Yeah, man, I want to my colleague them, and you know the chops. You definitely see me next week again with another blast of a blast. And if you can't be good, be careful. If you can't be careful, stay in your house. You know my style already, my people. We're gonna leave you like this still. What we want to play? I want to play a little exclusive song. I don't even know if I play that shot yet, but I'm going to play it anyway.
Start taking note.
My girlfriend don't trust me, but still my girl love me. Me love her and she love me. Every day my girl she cuss me. Man I talk G, but me live my life lovely. Enough girl look pretty in a real life, them hearted ugly. Hey, you don't trust me like you used to. Feels like there's nothing that I can do to show you I ain't cheating like I used to. I'm grown enough to tighten my loose screws. You don't trust me like you used to. Feels like there's nothing that I can do to show you I ain't cheating like I used to. I'm grown enough to tighten my loose screws.
I can beg for a chill or leg for the hills, but you wanna be mad at me when I step for the real. I'm not honouring fallacy cause I rep in the field. So honestly sanity's why I leapt from the deal. All your hollering damning me left regrets in the bill. Not you following gradually what I left to reveal. You wasn't gonna be mad at me, so I crept from the veil. I was wrong on the man in me, said confess all my ills. You wasn't gonna be happy but came correct in the build. Strong with my family, so said yes, we can heal. Got along, not reality, it was stressful for real. And there was gonna be tragedy, how you kept kicking heels. I'm sorry, weren't landing neat, even dressed in the hill. So I was gonna take hand and be invested in the kill. But you got on at me, nagging me, made a mess on the mill. Couldn't stop being mad at me, so aggressed, it revealed.
You don't trust me like you used to. Feels like there's nothing that I can do to show you I ain't cheating like I used to. I'm grown enough to tighten my loose screws. You don't trust me like you used to. Feels like there's nothing that I can do to show you I ain't cheating like I used to. I'm grown enough to tighten my loose screws.
What can I do? Cause you're lost in the